We're ready.
That's on Monday. Yeah.
All right, we'll make sure we know who we are here.
Is Catherine coming today?
Yep, in a bit.
Oh, okay.
We'll open this meeting of October 10th, 2013. Let the record show that Selectman Dawson is not present. She will be attending a little bit later. First on our agenda is budget. So we will go over the budget figures. Do we have the latest figures, Catherine? Do we have the latest?
Tim is supposed to be bringing it up on the budget.
Yeah.
That's what Joyce said, Tim is getting stuff.
Oh, okay.
Didn't give
All right.
me anything.
Well, why don't we just go ahead and take care of the minutes then?
Okay.
Let's do that, because we're waiting on Brad for the budget, and we're waiting on Tim for the budget. So we have minutes of, never shut my phone off, 9:26 and 10:03.
I've got 10-3.
Well,
Yeah, 10:26.
I think we had the
10:30.
other ones from last week, didn't we? 26?
October 3rd.
Oh, yeah, I got them. I'll bring the minutes of September 26th to the floor for discussion.
Second? All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes. No, and there's no budgets.
No budget.
For them now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, we're going over the minutes.
Which ones do we need?
9:26 and 10:03.
Thank you. Yeah, text sitting over there at your plate. Thank you.
Joyce, I'm looking in the minutes of 9:26. Did we tell Dennis that the School Street sidewalk would be in his budget?
I know we talked about it, but I don't know that I said that the board said put it in his budget. See, he isn't done. He still needs to come talk to you about capital reserve projects.
Okay.
And most likely, that money would come out of that capital reserve budget anyway. I'm still needing to get estimates.
This is for you. It's for Halloween, because that's what Cindy and I were talking about. Mm-hmm. And then,
Yep.
all right.
Okay.
So she could change it.
Oh, finally. Jeez.
She'll be in tomorrow.
Anyone see any corrections?
I didn't.
No, it's not on here.
What were the other ones we're doing? October what?
3rd, that's in your folder.
Oh, okay. I read these yesterday.
I move we approve the minutes of September 26th as presented.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Make a motion to bring the minutes of October 3rd to the floor for discussion.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Joyce, so you get it?
We're doing the minutes right
The
now.
other thing I was gonna ask is, you know,
Page 2.
I wore my
Just add
glasses.
it. Under the last bullet on page 2,
Yeah.
Joyce informed the board of an email sent out by the Department of Revenue Administration that we will not get out tax rate. That should be our tax rate.
Right.
all right, thank you so much. Okay, all right, bye.
Did you get that, Catherine?
Thank you.
Maybe she was thinking we wouldn't get out of our taxes.
We wouldn't get out of our taxes.
That's what I'd be thinking.
So Tim, do me a favor and write down the password to the Wi-Fi. Sure.
A couple more?
Exclamation point.
More?
No, thanks.
Oh, I owe you some money too.
Page 4, second bullet, last line. Board discussed this and agreed they do not to post a bond. Do not need to post a bond. They agreed not to post a bond,
What does it say need?
whatever it is.
Need.
Sure, there you go. Let's see, just take out the funny language. Ever hear anything about Church Street?
Yeah, he's got back. I actually went over there on Friday. Like I said, I knocked on the door. Nobody there. Well, nobody got to answer the door.
Nobody
Oh,
answers. It's like, uh-oh, here comes the code guy.
Yeah, they know who I am. I will keep pursuing it though.
Well, no, we haven't forgotten them anyway.
Yeah, you know, it's like renting a piece of equipment and going over there and just,
We can't even go and delineate wetlands on somebody's bit of property. Never mind rip down a building without a court order. As much as I would love to go,
they probably like it though.
they probably would. Make a motion that we accept the minutes, we approve the minutes of the Selectmen meeting of October 3rd as corrected.
Second? Oh, I'll let you have it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Is there anyone here going to be presenting the budget with us, or we're not part of that, or
Not yet, I don't.
want us to keep going on our selectmen stuff, or?
I don't know what Joyce wanted to do. I don't have a new schedule from Joanna, because she's been out sick for a
Right.
week. So I don't know.
Everybody put in for it there, but I'm talking about,
Everything's in your books that
I'm
I-
talking about the new additions to our administrative portion of it.
Okay, I don't.
We should have some type of explanation. Joyce, are you presenting the budget, to the changes in the budget?
Yes, I am, but he's reprinting it.
Why?
He said it was too small.
All right, let's just move on then.
Oh, well, can you use that?
Well, let's just keep moving.
small.
Let's just keep moving, though, because we've got time to keep on going.
like last
Go
week,
ahead
you know?
and start with
He
your outside
thinks that
agencies.
touching it is a problem. We should have him pee on
Yeah,
it.
we had the numbers from
I think we've all done it.
Yeah,
Barry. How do you want to do that? So
We could start with the outside agencies.
you have your binders, right?
The Parks, the Park Cemetery is contracted.
Yeah.
Last night, the Budget Committee voted theirs as well. I'll make a motion to recommend $4,200 for Park Cemetery.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The other one that is contractual would be the Birch Hill Kennels, which would be animal control, $5,500.
When was the last time that we entertained competitive bids on that contract?
2 years, and 2 years ago, and there was nobody that, in the area that does that. And if we go to, if we go up to the Humane Society, the bill goes way
Considerably
up.
more, yes.
Yeah.
Make a motion that we, actually, maybe you better do it because you have the information right in front of
Okay,
you.
I'll make a motion that we recommend $5,500 for Birch Hill Kennels.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the cost of that is entirely too much to go up to the Humane Society.
The rest goes with what we are, what the information is in our books. Everybody have their books?
No, I left
Okay.
it in the backseat of my car. I can run out and get it.
Where's your car?
Huh?
Yeah. Is your car down here? Up there?
Yeah, my car's in the parking lot. I can just run and go get
We
it.
were able to get it for you?
Yeah.
For the Youth Assistance Program, we all know what they do,
Yep,
and it's level funded from last year.
right. Let me go get mine.
You sure you want to go get it? We can
that's
share
all
this
right.
if you, well, we can share this
you
if you
sure?
want.
All right.
Positive. Positive.
I took stuff out of it and then put it back in the back of your car.
Yeah. So,
I put in the wrong amount. Said it was level funded?
well, 41,612 in 2017, 13, and they're asking for 41,
What is this?
Same thing.
612. Did you put the wrong amount?
Well,
You could put that in.
41,612, are they asking for?
She's got, what is it? We're doing youth assistance?
Do you not have any idea what this is about, Al, this list of household goods?
We're doing youth assistance?
No, Joyce, you're right.
request.
Got something.
42,080.
Stuff she wants.
Still,
It's a,
Oh,
right,
wow.
it's $140.
sure there'll be a spirited discussion
Yep, here
about
it is.
that.
Gentlemen, how are you?
I don't think she had it.
Oh, okay.
We have it,
We have it.
we have it.
You have the right amount?
Yeah.
I don't think the Budget Committee has the right amount
Oh, yeah.
in theirs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, they have the same thing.
It's $42,080.
Right, and their sheet says $42,080, so she put going on.
I'm going to make a motion that we recommend $42,080 for a youth assistance program.
Second?
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there a discussion on this?
Give me that amount one more time, please.
$42,080.
$80. And so it's not 41,612.
Right.
Right,
Did you second that, Sandy?
So it's not level
yes,
funded.
she
Yes.
did. Yeah, right
Hold on
after
just a
this.
second here. There's something I wanted
So
to
they
see.
went up, so they went up just a little bit.
Yeah, and mostly it's Fairpoint and, wait a minute.
I had the notes in there. I remember looking at it.
Okay. I'm good.
It's 12.
And what was the number that you used, Pat?
$42,080.
Now, see, I've got 41,612.
That's what
The budget committee is not correct.
But in here, it says 4280, right here.
Right.
Right on.
Inside.
Look on the sheet that they request on number, you should be looking at number tab 12.
Tab 12.
Yeah,
They'll give you the amount.
4280, I see.
Increased.
An extra $800.
Right.
I'd go along with that.
Yes, me too.
I'd make a motion, we accept the 4280 for the youth system.
I already have a motion on the
Did you?
table, yeah.
Good.
All those in
We're way
favor,
past that, Al.
All
right, all those in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right, we'll stop on outside agencies. Actually, we're going to add an no, it's a contract. So Brad, we'll invite you up. Thank you.
The spreadsheets I have are dated 9/3/2013. Do you have any-
I mean, 10/3/13.
Avison?
What's that?
Is it Avison?
And welcome, Tim, acting deputy.
Thank you very much.
Uh,
18th, though.
So first of all, I want to thank you for, and the board's not aware of it, but you announced it last night, so I guess I can announce it now, that you went ahead and secured a grant for the AED,
Yes,
a defibrillator, right?
yes.
For the Tilton Senior Center, and was awarded it from Walmart yesterday. So
Nice.
thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
thank
Bravo, thank you very much,
And
Chief.
the fire department's going to train the staff on it. I think it's very exciting. Okay.
It's electrifying.
Electrifying, yeah, I guess.
Can't pass it up, could you?
Can I be the victim?
I wanted that automatic compression machine.
Well, we can do that too.
Joe, you would be able to breathe, would be taking you to the hospital.
Luckily, the EMTs would be there.
Okay, so this is the Lakes region. Where's my paper? Right here.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, serious.
So I really couldn't get a clear picture on this. The sheet that you gave us before on the evaluation said we were going to be going up 4174 or something like that.
That was probably based on the 2013 budget numbers.
Okay.
So the sheet you have in front of you today is the proposed 14 budget, so they might be a little different.
But this says 989 is the difference. Well, that's not the difference, right?
That is the difference from 13 to 14.
Okay,
So, but the $4,000 difference
Yeah.
is coming from the county to you.
okay,
That's where that amount changes, because the county used a different formula. So that's why you're seeing that $4,000.
so it,
The 989 is the impact from the 2013 to 14
what's it being assessed?
proposed budget.
Turn,
Sorry. Oops. So, two microphones, really?
yeah,
Yeah.
come on,
Lord.
this is your last dance, let's go.
Every
Come
word.
on.
So the 989 is the impact from the budget proposed from 2013 to 2014. So the formula that dispatch has used doesn't change. So so for example, if this were still going to the county, the Tilton portion would be the $32,779.46 that would be sent over to Belknap County, along with the other 10 towns, if this budget gets approved as presented.
Right.
And then the county would have done their thing. So from the overall proposed budget for 14 is an increase of 4.49%. The impact to Tilton of the increase is $989. However, to
But
compound
in-
that one more step.
Right.
Because you're coming out of Belknap County and coming direct bill,
Right,
Tilton's going to see that 41, whatever it is that we talked about,
4174.
increase.
Do you still have that piece of paper that showed us that?
Back to the original piece, yeah.
I have it someplace, but,
Yeah, I know. That's how I am. It's in here somewhere.
yep.
49.5.
Yeah, 4176.
So that was based on the 2013 budget that was approved?
Right, well, this was based on 317917. This was
Which-
based on 31,790.
Yeah.
So actually, it's more like 5,000 total that we're going to go up.
Right, if you
Correct.
include the proposed increase, yes.
Because we add the 4176 and the 989.
Right.
So
That is-
we're about $5,100,
That is a correct assumption, yes.
right.
Do you have another copy of that, Chief?
Of this,
Of that?
I don't have one, but
I should
This
have one,
one?
but I don't.
Yeah, why don't we make copies of it?
You're the first one I gave it to.
first one to lose
What the
it?
hell did I do with it?
I can make copies of it.
Oh,
Is
no,
that-
he's got it.
He's got it?
it there.
Oh,
No.
I walked up.
Yes,
Look
okay.
under your books over there.
Because I saw it there.
Oh, never mind. Stop looking. I found it. The one that says mutual aid on the front. I'll be okay.
That was just a test.
I failed miserably.
You did. You did.
Okay,
so we're still on that front page, Joe, that
okay.
basically just gives out what each town gets assessed at.
So the overall increase is at Baldwin, which is 49,515. That's what the total is gonna be, right?
Of the proposal for the current proposed budget, yes. And I have just a couple of things, unless you have questions about the budget itself. Just to bring your attention.
So that's about 67, short of 6 cents, it's $67,000 between the two towns.
Oh, if you were to add them together, yes.
Yeah.
And then apply the
64%?
How's that new ladder truck working?
Awesome. We used it once already.
Did you know?
Yeah. Chimney fire on Sunday.
64% is
Everything worked.
42,880.
Yeah, so you go up 10 grand.
So then that would be a
Increase of
difference
10
of
grand.
10,000. So that would be a total cost to the town of Tilton by 15,000.
Now,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, I know what you're saying.
he did bring up an interesting point, and I hate to say that he's correct, but he might be. The 10% fixed cost would probably only be charged once. Because if you think of, let's just pretend that the district, that goes forward and the district becomes the member, not the two towns.
Right,
So we only have one member now, not two.
right.
So we're only going to be, the district would only be charged once for fixed costs.
So that's just,
But that's only $3,200.
that's peanuts compared, in his words, peanuts compared.
Right.
But in his words, $9,000 or $10,000 in the fairness of bringing the community together, mending bridges, but it's $10,000 to $15,000 in reality,
Right.
because now we have the numbers. $10,000 to $15,000 more expensive for Tilton
Yeah.
to,
Yeah, and the 33 is not going to even come close to making that up. It's just not going to do it.
I have one more question on Lakes Region Mutual Aid. Are you still able to be our representative?
I suppose I technically could, however, I would recommend you appoint Tim as your member until your fire chief is hired. Tim will be able to have more contact with the department day-to-day needs. He's willing to do it. He'd be more accessible than Mike would be, because Mike's only really around nights and weekends, as far as having to deal with them.
And do you understand the workings of the mutual aid system such as it is in the county?
I think, Tim, I'm not saying that I won't do it. It's quite an honor that you're asking me, but I think it would be easier and more fluid for the department if somebody in-house.
I want somebody that's going to have our back, in that we know that Commissioner Clark had announced last night that he would like to start researching legally how he can go into taking Lakes Region Mutual Aid and starting the steps forward into having it direct billed to them instead of direct billed to the towns. And so that is going to be a legal fight for us, and we know that. And
I think it's...
we need to have somebody that's going to have Tilton's interest.
Right.
And not the district's interest.
Right.
Because we are a community member.
Right.
We are the member.
Right.
We choose to have Lakes Region Mutual Aid. We could have any dispatch if we wanted, but we choose to have Lakes Region Mutual Aid as a member of Tilton, the town of Tilton, not as the district.
Yeah.
And so does the town of Northfield in the same direct way. They are a community member as an individual town, not a district.
Right, right.
So we need to be,
Can a district even be a part of a municipal association like that?
I
a
think,
mutual aid association like that, it's not a municipal.
yeah.
Well,
They
it's
are
all
municipal.
municipalities, isn't it?
They are a
It's
municipal
made up of
corporation.
municipalities, right?
They are a municipal corporation under, I don't know what RSA allows them to operate, essentially the same as a municipality.
Taxing authority.
They have the taxing authority, they have, the borrowing authority,
Okay.
and they got to play by all the municipal rules. So essentially, they are They just have a different funding formula than the rest of us. But it's definitely an honor that you're considering me. I think Tim would be more accessible to you guys, on a day-to-day basis.
Yep. Oh, I'm not,
I think Tim would have your back.
I don't want you to interpret that I'm
Yeah.
questioning that.
certainly
I'm
get
just
it. Yeah.
asking
And
that we really need somebody that's going to do that, and I'm,
be more than happy to help Tim with questions if he's got questions about the interactions of the board, and, it's not rocket science, that's for sure.
okay, all right. We'll consider that,
Yeah.
all right.
I think that'd be a good move for you. Just a couple of things in the budget. You have this, right? The narrative sections? Okay. The first line there, wages.
0345507.
This budget does provide one step increase for staff, and the step increase is 75 cents.
What percentage is that usually? Do you know?
I think they do I don't think they do a percentage. I think they do a dollar amount, which is, a cent amount.
I was just curious at kind of what does that really,
Yeah, what percentage does that equal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that.
okay.
On page 2 of that narrative, you'll see a new line there that's fairly near the top. It's called Graphic Design Service. This is for production of a newsletter that they do. It's called The Rural Hitch. I think you get copies of that quarterly. This was previously an hourly employee, and she's now going to be doing that on a contracted basis instead of being an hourly employee, so that's why you see the new line. And then the line just below that is also a new line, bank finance charges. They are setting up a line of credit, not a loan. They use Meredith Village Savings Bank, just in case they need to have a TAN note for cash flow from the January through usually April after town meeting time. Normally, Belknap County has provided that cash flow for them, and they're just not sure. They're pretty confident that they can do that on their own, but they wanted to have this in place in case they needed to.
Who do they use?
See, one of the benefits of having Belknap County, the funding come through Belknap County, was Belknap County fronted them the $500,000
Yeah.
at January 1st.
Okay.
Which got them through
Right,
town meeting time for everybody else to
Okay.
pay their bill. So they're pretty sure they have enough in unreserved fund balance to cash flow through that March period, but they wanted to have this in place just in case
Okay.
they needed to. And so that they opted for a line of credit as opposed to an actual TAN note. So if they only needed, $5,000, they're only going to borrow $5,000. And those were really the only two items that were, at least that brought any attention to me. Everything else is pretty even keel.
why, so, I'm not complaining by any means,
Yep.
but why such a decrease in the radio circuits? Is that because they've gone Belknap County, or
Let me see where that is.
on third page? About third way down?
Radio circuits, okay. I think what that is that they have done away with some of the radio towers that were controlled by phone line, and that they're utilizing either microwave link or radio link
Okay.
to control those radio sites. They are using part of the state police microwave system. As a matter of fact, 911 is using a big part of it that comes down from Belknap County to
Yep.
the center, so that they're able to tie in and control radio sites through the microwave system as well.
Is 2013 the first year that they put away money for the communication systems?
Yes.
Okay.
That was one thing that was identified early on in 2013 by the board, that we haven't really started to prepare for replacement of the radio system, for an example. We've been very lucky, and every time in the past, 10 to 15 years, it seems like that we've been up to doing an upgrade. A grant has come through and provided that funding. So we've identified the need to start that capital reserve funds just in case grant funds aren't available, that the next time we need to replace. So the other thing that came out of that was we've hired a consultant to help us write a strategic plan, and to help us plan for the future. So in fact, that process has started, and we're hoping probably early in 2014 that report will be done and start to identify some areas that we can start preparing for future growth and repair. And one of the biggest thing that has already been identified is we do a horrible job at marketing ourselves and what the product is that we actually provide to our communities. So we already know that that's going to be a big piece of that report, and how can we better market what we actually do. And when people actually see what we do, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is awesome.
How many employees do they actually have?
They have 8 full-time dispatchers, and then they have 2 administration, and then they probably have 4 or 5, maybe 6 part-time dispatchers. They have a bookkeeper that comes in 1 day a week, and well, now this person that does the newsletter.
Graphic.
Well, I'm not sure how many hours she works, but.
For what they do, it's a rather small operation.
It is.
Employee-wise.
Yeah.
What they
They
do.
staff 2 on a shift, and then, so they have 4 shifts of 2.
Will the dispatch still be located at the county complex?
No, it's at, do you remember where the former state school was in Laconia? It's there. And it's in the first building as you go into that complex on the left, and half of it is the 911 call center, and the other half is, 911 call center and their mapping division is there, and then we occupy the other half of that building. The building's owned by the state.
Yeah, the whole
And-
complex is. Do we have to pay the state?
Yeah, $1 a year.
$1?
Yeah,
Price is right.
the price is right.
I've been in those buildings, though.
So,
About a
Well, the mutual aid, in 2001, when we moved in there, spent a lot of money in upgrades and renovated that wing.
we need to shut these windows, too. No, that's fine.
We should, someday we should get up there and take a tour. It's really interesting.
So overall, the budget is increased 4.49?
Yes.
I was gonna roll the blind down to stop the breeze.
Is that set, or is this a draft?
No, this is the proposed budget. We meet again, I think,
It's much better.
it's either the end of October, yeah, the next meeting is October 30th, and the board will adopt the budget. So it's been out and for people to present it to their boards and get feedback, and then go back with, the wishes of.
Any other questions for Brad? Joyce, you got any questions? Where'd Tim go?
He went to lunch.
Did you want it back?
Nope. Let's see if we had any questions.
No, what we're going to do is in the, on the MS7 and the MS5, there's a line item in public safety that says fire department. And that's where we would put the appropriation.
But it's not really an outside agency, it's a contracted service that we have, so
Yeah.
No different than,
what we do now,
right.
right. All right. Thank you very much.
If, do you think you'll be deciding on if you want Tim to represent you before the 30th?
Should we do it
That's
before the 30th?
That would have to happen if he could go to that meeting,
Oh, okay.
if you want representation at that budget.
All right.
No problem with it.
Tim, do you think you can represent the town and have our best interest at...
A lot of people have me on speed dial. I'm going to start a consulting. Oh, I just,
hour, right?
ding, ding, ding.
Ching, ching, ching.
And I think we should hold off and wait for Catherine to come in. She's going to be a little late.
Okay.
Before we make a decision, a formal decision on that. We'll
Sure.
run it by later in
Yeah,
the...
let him know.
Yep.
It'll be either this week or next week that we make the decision. We're having an abbreviated meeting today because of the Taste of the Trails tonight. But on another note, we're very sad to see you leave.
Yes.
But Tim, our doors, as always, are always open to
Right.
you at any time.
Yep.
If there's any issues whatsoever in Tilton that need to be addressed, that you see that we need to address, we're only a phone call away, or come in and sit down and talk with us.
Thank you.
We'd like to be a little bit more proactive than we are in reactiveness, so...
And our door is always open unless you come after 4:15, then it's locked.
And then you have our cell phone numbers, which, and you know where we live.
Yes, that's true.
So, but we have an open door policy, so
Yep.
please, any one of us, and we can get together, and we'll get the crew together, and if it needs to be right away, we can. All right? But, yeah, we'll run it by, I don't want to make that decision without
That's fine.
Catherine being here.
He'll probably want to know just how the board, if they would like him to support this budget or not support it.
Right.
Yep.
I will do both of those.
Well, when she, hopefully, if she's not in, then we will definitely make a decision the
Yep.
first thing when we come in on Thursday.
Okay.
Next
Sounds
week on that.
Yeah,
I don't like it either.
I don't like changing the way it's happened.
Right.
I'll be very clear, and I've
100%.
told everybody.
If you were going on to bigger and better things on your own, it would be a
I'm
great,
anxious to see
great
the county
thing.
budget.
But I'm not,
Should go
don't
down
particularly like the
considerably.
way it happened.
$1 million.
Actually, he's bringing up a very good point. Throughout this entire process, the board has always said, now really more than ever, and the board is really can't do this, but the boards of selectmen certainly can, is hold the county accountable for
right.
showing that line being zeroed out.
Right.
$546, whatever, $1,000
Yep.
that is. Now, we all know that that's probably going to be eaten up in normal budget increases. However, it should really be coming very close to flat line, if not reduced
Yes.
overall.
Yeah, for $500,000,
So-
it should.
Right. So that's really in your control. The
Right.
board of directors doesn't have any control over the county in that aspect. So
Right.
you bring up a valid point, Joe, that
Budget better go down.
Yep.
Budget better go down.
at the very least, it should be level funded. And it really should be reduced. However, there's an opportunity, as we all know, if people wanted to use some creative budgeting to not show an increase, but fund an awful lot of other things,
Right.
like a new prison. And
Yeah,
but anyway, that's
oh, just what we need.
now in your
Let's have some more.
capable hands.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anything else I can help you with?
No, when do we get an invite to see the new truck and...
Anytime you want to come and see it. I don't know, they are going to, we're going to have an open house. It won't happen before I leave.
Okay.
It's just too soon to, so, but if you guys want to come down, give me a call. I'm around all next week. Tomorrow's a tight day for me. Yeah, we'll give you the
Okay.
tour.
Okay.
Wonderful. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds great.
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Tim.
See you guys.
Since you haven't gone too far, did you want to go to these a little bit easier to read?
Yep.
Write your notes. I think you'd only made 3 motions so far. Catherine, I gave you a copy, right?
What is that? Oh, Tim's? Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Yep, the new one.
Well, this is the,
Is this your recycle?
Stomach is killing
it
me.
is.
All right, so we've already made the outside agencies. Do we want to continue with outside agencies at this point?
Yeah, I'd like to make sure that we've got the numbers entered right.
Okay. Right there. Okay.
I make a motion that we do not fund Genesis.
Did you read in there where they have increased the number of people in Tilton? 129?
I'll second it, just to get a discussion.
Oh, sorry.
What is your
Pushing.
motion based on?
Feedback from the welfare director.
What
is the feedback?
It doesn't really serve the town of Tilton in the best interest.
How so?
It doesn't certainly serve the town of Tilton during crisis. We know that from feedback from residents that
Okay.
have had opportunities that have had to call, and they haven't been in a situation where they can help. Crisis, if somebody's in crisis, that means right here now, and sometimes it's 48, 72 hours before they respond.
So they're not doing a very good job. Is that a budgetary issue, or is that just quality of their product? Because I support mental health services. Lord knows we can't have people in need of mental health services not being able to access them.
They also do much of what Child and Family Services are doing for the town of Tilton right now.
Yeah?
And Child and Family Services is doing a lot more in that realm.
Now, these people, at least in my experience, have not come forward to explain themselves, have they?
They have in one of the things 3 years ago, there was a lot of monies in their savings, and look at their financials, and if you go through their financials, there's quite a lot of money.
That's the one that did.
It was almost like $3 million in their savings, and they're coming to the town asking for money.
This year,
Quite a bit.
$600 more.
Well, they got nothing last year, so if we sent them $600, it'd still be a $600 increase, right? I'm just saying.
The last 3 years, we've not funded them.
I know.
I can tell you, last 3 or 4.
Right.
I think it's 4 that we have not funded them. I don't know beyond that. But we can wait on that. Would we like to wait on that and then get feedback from Heather? Want to put it off
They're
until...
bringing her up next week.
Why don't we put it off and we'll ask Heather?
I want to ask her some pointed questions.
Okay, fine. I'm okay with that.
I
I'll
don't want
rescind.
our residents to not have access if they can reasonably get it. If they can't, well,
Right.
I'm not sure where we go for that, but
They said last night that next Wednesday, they'd like to have Heather there to go over the outside agencies, so that would leave us, we'd know by Thursday.
So why don't we, we can either attend next Wednesday, if you can't attend Wednesday, do you want to try to see if Heather will come in next Thursday and
That
talk
would be
about it
great.
with us?
My mind's made up anyway.
I don't know.
I know their operations quite well, so I'm pretty much not involved, so I'm not in favor.
I have... All right, we'll wait on Genesis. Lakes Region Planning? They're asking for
The same amount.
$42 more,
Is it?
I personally think they're,
right? They're-
304.
yeah,
What does it say?
See, my budget committee info is pretty much all wrong. 3304.
what are they
It
showing?
seems that the sheet that you have from the budget committee, under the column that says requested for 214.
They don't have it, see it?
Didn't have it in
They
time.
don't have it.
I get it.
That's approved, 2013 is the approved amount.
Right,
So the amount should be $3,304.
Yep.
Which is right here.
Well, I'm a member of a number of different projects and boards for the plan, as a Tilton representative to the Planning Commission.
I was gonna say, I highly recommend them. I think they're
And as do I. They're professional.
Yeah,
They have a lot of, just because we don't use all of their services, they are available to
well,
us.
I'm on 2 committees right now that are dealing directly with them, so,
And I'm on 3.
right, so they do a lot for the town, they're behind the scenes. You don't hear their name splashed about a lot, but they do a lot for the town of Tilton. And if you have
Indeed.
questions, you call up and you ask, you'll get your answers. So,
They're going to exist whether we vote to participate or not.
right.
But I think it's short-sighted not to be a part of the effort.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
I'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we fund Lakes Region Planning for $3,304, what they asked for.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well, you want to wait on community action for feedback from Heather?
Yeah. They do a lot of other things too, the transportation.
Child and Family Services?
Right.
Franklin Visiting Nurses?
Well, I think they're well worth their while.
Me too.
They help a lot of people in the community recuperate. If they're sick, they come in and help take care of them. And I don't know of anybody,
That's long of a motion, you want to accept it?
Yep.
These
I don't know of
people-
anybody that hasn't
These people are
benefited
all
from it.
somebody that we just hope we don't ever have to use.
but
Right.
if you do,
But
you're very
when you need
thankful they're
that
there.
service, they are absolutely lifesavers.
They are.
I make a motion that we approve Franklin Visiting Nurses for funding totaling $15,600.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes?
Aye.
Yes.
I'd like to wait for the blind to come in. I know that the blind is doing a lot more up at the senior center. They're giving out, they come in and give demonstrations of equipment, and they're setting up programs with them up there. Also, they're going into their homes, setting them up with some life-saving equipment for sight. In each home that they go into and set them up, the cost of that is approximately $600 worth of equipment. And so far, last year, they did 3 homes in Tilton alone that helped. And now they have a new program as well, which I'd like to hear from them again to see how it's working, the macular degeneration program. And they're doing some work with that, with seniors in Tilton. And so I'd like to wait on that when they come into the Budget Committee and give a presentation, if we wouldn't mind on that, because we like to hear that. Red Cross, we all know what they do.
Yep.
I make a motion that we fund the request from Red Cross with a total of $1,609.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes?
Aye.
Yes. Summer concerts,
I suggest we pass on that one for now.
oh, because of the discussion last night, okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, CASA, it's $500.
That's like,
For the work that they do?
Yeah.
Ooh,
we're lucky that it only costs us $500
That's
because it's
right.
worth 50 times that to the
Exactly.
families who need it.
I'll
I'd
make
make
a
a
motion.
motion that we fund the request from CASA in the total of $500.
Second?
all those in favor?
Yes?
Yes.
Nope, not yet, I'm working up. Blind, we're gonna wait. New Beginnings, I can't speak highly enough for these people. They're, without them, and the PD uses them quite a lot as well. We could wait and get the chief's viewpoint on it and Heather's viewpoint if you'd like. But they said in our I was reading that they had an increase of people.
I don't think we have to wait, do we?
22 individuals, 2 schools, 6 businesses, 25 individuals, 3 schools, 8 businesses. So,
And exactly how do they help businesses?
they go in and educate and work with them. They work with them in case it's involved in the business, in a workplace. Stalking, violence, domestic violence in the workplace.
I understand that
Yeah.
there is that, but isn't that a policing thing? How does New Beginnings impact that? Educating co-workers, or how does that work?
They educational programs are provided at no cost to the school, community groups, social service agency, hospital personnel, law enforcement, and others interested in learning about domestic and sexual violence. And they have court advocacy and support groups. I mean, to the workplace, if it's involved in the workplace, I imagine that they would go, and particularly the sexual harassment, violence and things like that. It's a great organization.
I make a motion to accept the $1,530 for New Beginnings.
I'll second that. Oh, we gotta wait for Sandy. Why did you, Joyce, what was your reasoning behind this under Grange expenses?
I totaled electricity, natural gas, mango, pest control, water, sewer, the fire extinguishers,
Gonna be diabetic before.
$300 a month.
Yeah, before the afternoon's out.
Sounds good. Okay. We'll put that one on hold. No, we made a motion, we're just waiting for them. We're waiting for Sandy to get back. Then we'll go from there with the blind we're going to wait on. Community action we're going to wait. And Genesis we're going to wait. And the concert we're going to wait. We can go to culture and recreation, which would be the recycling.
Okay, quick question, child and family services?
No, we're going to wait on,
Child and family services?
right, for Heather.
Okay. And, with the recreation council?
And the Recreation Council. Do you want to wait on the Recreation Council?
Catherine should be here for it. I do believe.
Not a problem. We have a motion on the table to accept
New beginnings.
new beginnings for 15:30.
Oh, okay.
And we're ready to take a vote. We're waiting for you.
I would like to say that I don't think that New Beginnings is accountable for some of the things it does. I completely support their mission, but not the way they go about doing it sometimes. And that will help to, I'm not going to beat up, I can't use stories.
Can we
But-
give them feedback when they...
I tried to tell these people, and they didn't even want to hear it. I personally know of a woman who used this organization as a club to get what she wanted. And the man had absolutely no recourse. These people have resources. They have all of the lawyers that might take a case to help defend a person in that circumstance. They all work for New Beginnings. So it's a conflict of interest. You can't defend yourself. Now, if that happens 1 out of 100 times, it's too much. There's no accountability. They were like, well, it's the greater good. I have a hard time voting for somebody with that kind of an attitude. That's all.
Sometimes there's circumstances that bring people there. They need that same kind of non-accountability because they need help and they need to be protected. So, I mean, it's unfortunate that your friend had such poor luck, but how many people have been helped immensely by them?
What concerns me the very most is the fact that they've got all the lawyers locked up. Everybody's entitled to a defense in this country. I think it's guaranteed in the Constitution, except for not if you're charged with that in this county and the other individual goes to New Beginnings, because the lawyers are tied up. And if you don't have big money, where you can go to Boston or Manchester or whatever, you have no defense. And I just have a hard time with that. I know that New Beginnings does so much good work. But they were totally unresponsive to my questions and my concerns as to their accountability.
Well, we can certainly ask them about it when we meet with them at the budget meeting.
I will bring it up again. Last year I brought it up and I
Wanna
didn't
wait
get a
on this one?
satisfactory answer.
Would you like to wait on this one? And
No, because we have enough votes to pass it.
oh, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't wait on it and try to get some other feedback. It's not...
Is there any, I'm going to ask my questions anyway. Is there anything that this woman is going to say to me that's going to make you change your mind? I don't think so. So I would just suggest that I would ask my questions and I'll express my concerns when I have the opportunity, but they're going to get funded. There's no doubt in my mind. If you have the chance, ask them about it, that's all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're willing to wait till
I'm
after
not
we've...
sure that that statement's entirely true, because if you look at an agency that continues to do good work in your eyes, and somebody points out a different perspective that may not be entirely what you're seeing, and then you look in a different direction and you see something different, would that change my mind? Yes, it would absolutely change my mind.
It was amazing to me that going down the list of lawyers in Belknap County, there wasn't a single solitary one that wasn't hooked into New Beginnings, that did that kind of defense law. Not a one.
But is that the New Beginnings fault, or is that just because the lawyers wanted to belong to it?
Whatever the reason for the exclusion, I do not think that it's a very good idea for for every one of those people. Okay, there's a defendant that's trying to defend themselves against the charges. Scumbags need to go to jail. Okay, I'm all about that. But if somebody needs a defense and it's not available to them, that's a problem for me.
Well, is that any different than a certain fire commissioner coming over here and saying we had a lock on all the attorneys, and would we give them permission to use one of them?
Great analogy, but...
No, we're talking about criminal contempt and going to jail and prison and whatnot.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. In some, sometimes it's not the... Sometimes it's just the way the court system works, and it's not necessarily the agency, because you have circumstances surrounding battered women, and that there are so many loopholes in the court system that battered women in men, but I'm saying battered women because there's a greater number. And yet, I've, in my lifetime, have come across a couple of situations where I can easily say that that person was not battered, and yet the perpetrator went to jail for nothing. But is that the agency's fault? No, it's the justice system that put them there, not the agency.
You and I are partners.
Right.
You smack me around and give me a black eye. I yell at you, whatever. We have a big fight. Now it's a mad dash to New Beginnings. If you make it there first, I'm screwed. But if I make it there first, you're screwed.
Right.
Because they have no investigation arm. You walk in and you say you're battered. In my experience, okie dokie, we've got to do everything we can.
Right.
And I can understand that. That's what they're about.
It's about that. Yeah.
But at that point,
I get what you're saying. But that's not necessarily the agencies. They're taking the person that's coming in,
and just believing anything they say.
And then it goes into the court system, and the court system is supposed to decipher what's being said and what's not being said. It's not about they're giving them shelter.
No, at that point, it is the court system.
Right.
But all the legal help for a lot of these people comes from our money from New Beginnings. That's all I'm saying.
I get you.
If it was just for shelter and food and medical and stuff like that, I would be all about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
No problem. But we're funding their lawyers too, and that disenfranchises.
There's the whole key word.
And you know how I feel about lawyers. Anybody who doesn't know, I hate lawyers.
It's a strong word.
You
Hate.
So
You never need one.
I think that
I have. I hated him. I hated him too.
I think at this time probably we should just rescind the motion, and we'll wait on this and we'll get more information, because these are valid questions. I think we should bring them up and see what the answers are. I'd like to hear them, actually.
Okay.
All right? Hi, Catherine. Howdy. We just spent about $6 million, but you weren't here, so...
We figured we'd get through it real quick before...
I do vacation time in there.
So we're gonna, we talked with Brad about Lakes Region Mutual Aid, and, okay. We voted on a couple of outside agencies, Park Cemetery, Lakes Region Planning,
CASA.
Youth Assistance, V&A, Animal Control, CASA, and
Front Park,
Red Cross.
Red Cross. And the rest we're going to hold until we either hear from Budget or Heather on people like Genesis, Child and Family Services, CAP,
What about,
New Beginnings.
we do all Memorial Home Library?
We approved Park Cemetery?
Yes.
That's right.
So now we're going up to Cultural and Recreation. All right? And kind of, everybody's up on board now.
Rachel Council.
You want these? The ones we filled in?
In your, do I have it? That's what I've got here.
No. These are the ones we just voted on.
Oh, I just checked them
Okay.
out, thank you. Under my folder.
Recycling Committee is asking for 1,000.
No.
which one now? Sorry, I was reading.
Recycling Committee. This is on your sheet, Joe, wouldn't be in that book.
Okay, got it.
Do we have the recycling budget? It's just for educational,
It's
And
for
postage.
printing, postage,
Postage.
educational.
There's no written supporting documentation unless you want something.
I make a motion that we support $1,000 for recycling committee.
What's it for?
Printing, educational,
What is the purpose of the recycling revolving fund? I can grab my.
That's to pay for the
That's just to pay for the program.
hauling contract. This is what we're talking about, is $1,000 that the recycling committee has requested for things like sending out a mailer, for
Yeah, I
printing,
remember
for
that.
buying compost bins and selling them.
But the recycle revolving fund, that's to pay the hauler? So
Yes.
we don't have that money in our operating budget?
No,
Correct.
we should never
And
appropriate
what
to that
happens
again.
if it doesn't reach the goal? What is it, 87,000?
For a year.
87,000 for 12 months, there's $43,000 in that account right now.
45.
I'm pretty sure I was told last night it was 43, that's the latest amount right there?
Just 45.
All right.
So my question is, what if it doesn't reach the goal?
Well, if it doesn't reach the goal, that hypothetical what if, we'll have to find money to fund it on some level, because we have a contract as the town of Tilton that will have to be paid. The monies to pay that contract are supposed to come out of the recycling revolving fund, but that still doesn't, we still have a contract.
Is the
are you
contract...
talking about 2013 or 2014, Catherine?
2014. Is the contract word, must be worded in such a way, most of them are, that if town meeting votes to eliminate the program, then we're out of the contract,
Then we're done.
then we're done.
It's in there.
So, should we put at least, I mean, we've got 45, we need, what, another 40 at least, 42. Should we put maybe half of that in our budget, which could be removed
I don't want to put any more money in it.
No,
town meeting?
I can't support that at all.
Me neither.
Well, I don't want to have to look for
Well,
it within our...
I stood up there and promised them that we
No.
would not come and get money
But
for
listen
this
to what
because
she's
the
saying.
bags pay for it.
You cut her off halfway through this now.
Sure.
I know what she's saying.
She's saying,
Cover our ass.
putting it in with the language of taking it out if it's not needed. It's a backup, because if it is needed, we're going to be scrounging for $40,000. If it's not needed, we easily can take that out of the monies
Tim is our income guy. He's been dealing with the Wage Zero people. Could we ask him the question, does he anticipate a problem?
Well, we don't know. We're all guessing here.
Yeah, well, I don't want to
guessing
raise
too.
money on a maybe, kind of, sort of what if.
Well, I don't
We've been
wanna
selling
come
the
to town
bags.
meeting and end up, a couple $20,000 short. Our budget is tight as it is. And then have to look for 20,000 and take it out of some of the line item because we're short. I'd rather put it in here, go to town meeting, we've got the figures. In fact, if we put it in now, maybe by, when is the last public hearing for the budget? Is it 20, so many days before town meeting?
What was this gonna cost us?
But isn't it sometime in January?
No, you can have one up
Or is it
until
February?
February.
So we may get to, in that
Second
public
Tuesday in
hearing,
February.
and have enough money, we can take it out then.
Well, you'll know the first quarter?
That's, I need to get the information from Tim.
All right, we'll hold off on that then. But we need to talk about the committee itself.
$1,000 is merely suggestive. I don't have a thing that I could tell you that we're going to spend
You're the
$1,000.
20,000?
$500 may well be enough, but to give the recycling committee no funding whatsoever prevents us from doing things like the yard sale day and promoting recycling efforts through the schools and things like that, sending out any kind of mailers. I think that they've spent the money well in the past.
But I thought that was a one-time thing.
No, the recycling committee,
$1,000 last time was a one-time thing to get it going.
no, because we had funded it the year before and the year before.
The committee is there until the selectmen disband it. But the question is, do they still have a job to do? I'm here to tell you, they still have a job
yeah.
to do. 'Cause
Yes,
I'm
yes.
picking up garbage. There's a bag sitting up there, green tag. So there's still work for them to do. But again, if we get to town meeting, there's a warrant article, it passes, and it eliminates it, then we need to have probably conversations before we get there about what do we do? Do we keep the recycling committee, do we keep trying to promote it, or do we just go? And I'm in favor of giving them the 1,000 now, because I do think they have work to do.
No, I do too.
They
Me too.
won't spend it foolishly.
It's for educational purposes and,
Is that in form of a motion?
yes,
Okay.
and I'll make mine a form of second.
Catherine made the motion, Catherine, and Sandy seconded it. All those in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Yes.
Okay.
Where do we have recycling committee?
On Cultural and Recreation. Last page,
Oh,
just
the
about.
first one. Thank you.
We don't have a detailed sheet, do we, for parks?
Yes, you do. Detailed sheets of Parks Commission, moderator, supervisor, checklist, and conservation commission.
This one packet, hands out?
Yep. Everybody has one? Oh, Sandy does it. Oh, you did?
I
This
did.
way.
Catherine, you have this little packet here?
No, I don't. That's something that I don't know.
So Parks Commission is the second to last page. Should be duplexed, and it isn't duplexed. Oh, I apologize.
What?
The Parks budget is duplexed. Let me run the second page.
How come the electric went up? Our electric in Town Hall went down. But due to Tim's manipulation of the companies we use in getting the best prices. And yet, the parts went up some, and we were over budget too. Because they approved 2,000, it was 2260 and change, and now we want 23.
Where are you?
Parks budget,
So we were up
or am I somewhere
260,
completely different?
That's to date.
Well, it's estimated as expenses, so he figures we're gonna go over the $2,000.
Yep.
Sewer's pretty close, water is right.
Cleaning went down,
I'm giving you the second page.
offsets that.
They increased the landscaping because the current landscaper has held his price for the past couple of years, and they're going to go out to bid on that.
What's the difference between the irrigation electric and the electric?
There
have to
are two
replace
separate
wires.
meters down there.
Yeah,
One is dedicated to the irrigation electricity, it pulls water out of the river,
So we're figuring
and the other
zero?
one is basically the
that was
lights in
$213,
the- in
never
the kitchen.
$1,000 for irrigation? For electric?
Electric, is that just?
It's irrigation and electric. There are just like, I can tell you right now, there's about 525 repairs, but he's not going to bill us until he pulls it out to see what else is needed. Heads have had to be replaced. One of the covers that protects, actually I don't know what it protects, I never looked underneath it, had to be replaced. Something on the pump itself had to be replaced when they put it in, you know, those kind of things.
Would we not separate that though, so we get definitive look at that, as such as,
they do seem somewhat disparate. Irrigation, I know there's a certain amount of electric for irrigation, but the issues with the pumps and what have you,
I would want to separate
can't
that.
break that out a little better?
Just
next
because-
time out?
Just because of the repairs would be,
It all pertained to irrigation.
but if you had repairs and there was zero, you know what I mean? If there was no repairs whatsoever?
No, we haven't had a year yet without repairs, so.
But no, I'm just
I
saying.
know what you're saying,
yeah.
but Tim can give us that detail.
Okay.
I mean, you know, how many lines do you want in the budget?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
I have a question, Catherine, and you're the parks person here,
Sure.
so. Last year, the town approved $5,000 to strip and paint the railings in Riverfront Park.
Yes.
And were the railings stripped and painted?
No, they should be this fall. We'll have a contract. The park commissioners will meet Monday night. We have estimates to do that work, and we'll contract with a painter to do it. We have one that believes he can do it this fall, another that says he can do it in the spring, so it will be done with these monies. We won't have to raise and appropriate it again.
When that happens, would you please let us know before the fact? Because I'd like to go to the park commission meeting that night and find out about, you know, we could strip and paint them ourselves for less than $5,000, but if we're gonna get a job where the rails are right, then it's worth every penny. I mean, I can paint them and they'll just go do just what they're doing right now and look like crap.
Well, yeah.
I just want to be assured that it's going to be worth the money.
There's a process they have to go through when they do galvanized metal, and they have to remove the bad paint. There's a process they go to, I'm going to call it neutralizing the galvanization, and then they have to use a specific primer and a specific paint. Yep. So this is, you know, removing it, and of course, we don't want paint chips all over the
No,
place.
no.
There's a lot
It almost got to be sandblasted, doesn't it? To get it all
There's
off?
a couple of ways they can do it, I've been told by these different painters.
Yeah.
They all seem to have their tricks, but the meeting,
Okay.
they're meeting Monday night.
Catherine, what is the maintenance, we're going from, am I looking at this right? Estimated oh, okay, no, I'm not looking at it right.
Okay, that's Monday night.
Yeah, on the bottom, the second page, this page.
Oh, That's why I was doing that.
You expended 1,500, that's why I was looking at 1,500 to 7410, but I'm looking at the notes, and it is 3 days a week, it's the same amount of money, right?
Right, but he started late.
That's why we had a big gap there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, it's not done for the year, but he also started late.
Now, the arborist work, is that different from the tree? It says tree at the, needs work on, as the island, the work that was done on the island with those trees, did that suffice, or it's more that needs?
There's more that needs to be done. And Bob should have prices for that work.
Does that include the downtown street trees? The Christmas tree?
Now, the
Any of those kind of trees?
No, they're not in the parks. So the Christmas tree, Dennis, in fact, I just talked to him about reminding him, Dennis will look at it. He suggested that that it might need some work. There's vines and parasitic plants that are growing up into it.
I saw that.
So Bob Hardy is going to look at that and determine whether or not the park commissioners can just go in there at his direction and clean it up, or whether we actually need an arborist. Typically what they do when he gets bids from the arborist, he includes the Main Street trees, just so it's a one package deal and it's a little less, and then we'll just give that estimate to the selectmen to decide whether or not they want to go forward with it. How many letters and phone calls have we had to take them down?
So,
Well, I was going to
God,
say,
no.
have you been, has Gus told you that we've had several of the downtown businesses ask if we
Complaining.
couldn't take them down and put in
They
just
talked to me
bushes?
about it,
or-
yeah. They
Okay.
want them down.
Like hedges or something?
Yeah, well, and if you walk down, I walked down there and looked. I really have never walked down Main Street and looked up.
They're very tall.
But
They're in
growing
the
into the
lines.
wires.
Well, that's why I was asking. They need work.
Well, you can't see their signage anymore.
Yeah, so-
because
They need work for sure, but
I mean, I suppose if you held your breath, I don't know how tall those trees would get, but maybe they'll get tall enough so that the trunk will exceed the wall.
I don't think so.
Not like elm trees, but
Right,
What kind of trees are they?
I don't know, I keep meaning to ask Bob Hardy.
they're flowering
They're an
somethings.
ornamental tree.
Yeah.
some places they're getting a ladder up against the side of the building to try to rescue somebody on the second floor. Of course, we have power line issues and ladder trucks to preclude not being able to get a ladder in there to get people in and out. That's
How
not
would
good.
you even begin to try to solve that problem and put in trees that are not going to, unless you put in an arborvitae or something that's going to grow up and not spread out?
The horse is out of the barn, as we say at Catherine's house. So we have to do something with what we've got. I'm not in favor of cutting them down, but we should trim them up somewhat, I think.
Well, we got some suggestions that they may still be small enough for some of them to move to the new park that's going to go up there, where Ernie's and, to put them in there and
I
then,
think those are an invasive type species, though.
This
I
here?
don't think they're indigenous. I shouldn't say invasive, but I don't think they're indigenous.
Wow.
That'd be nice.
but if we, went something smaller, then the signage that is along the walls there, people can see it, but if you drive down the road and look that way, you can't see any signs.
No.
And that's why they're dragging all this stuff out on the sidewalk and stuff, because you can't see.
Well, I have a miniature Japanese maple that was
I've got a nice little miniature myself.
it's only supposed to grow 12 feet in height.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, it's over 18 feet now.
Yeah. Well, I have
Well,
one of
mine
those
really is
flowering-
miniature.
I have a flowering plum that's not supposed to get over 8 feet tall, and right now I'd say a good 18 feet tall. And it doesn't look like it's slowing down at all.
And my brother says they advertise that, but you have to prune them at the top in order for them not, they can become miniatures, but you have to work at the miniature parts.
Yeah. Oh, we cut the whole top off the plum tree.
All right, I make a motion that we accept the budget of $40,156 for the Parks Commission expenses,
Which has gone down.
which has gone down by 1%.
I'll second it.
So a motion was made and seconded, Joe, for the Parks Commission. Is there any other discussion among the board? All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Park Maintenance Island, and
Yeah, I was supposed to talk with Northfield, and I haven't yet, just to make sure they're still on board with that.
Okay.
They're in the process of hiring a new highway superintendent.
okay. We'll put that on hold then. Hall Memorial, they're coming before the budget. Do you want to wait for that, or do you want to make a decision? Have you read their input in it?
Yeah, I looked.
I have it too. I have too.
Isn't that
It's about $1,100 more, no, $1,050 more than last year.
Right.
1%.
Is that in our books?
Yes. I believe. 8.
Does anybody know why it's not a lot?
Well, there's increases in the retirement and
The utilities,
I think it's
so on and
utilities,
so
Kathy.
Yeah.
forth, but
No,
I think it's the usuals,
I'm not trying to.
the common factor.
sewer, no, that wouldn't have gone up. Sewer, water,
I want to make sure that we're getting good use out of it.
37.
I love the library, I love the
Well,
concept
50.
of libraries. Libraries
and
gave me
sewer
my
have
love
gone
of
up.
reading. But if we're not using the library, or
Water
it's
and
getting
sewer
less.
have gone up.
heat.
In this day and age, used to be you had to go to the library to catch
And
an
heat.
encyclopedia
Yeah.
if you had a
Heat's
question.
gone up.
Not anymore. I mean, that kind of stuff, so novels and periodicals, yeah, these handheld devices.
I think they've become.
And that's gone up.
Yeah, and electricity's
They
gone
always
up.
have been for me, but it's definitely, if anybody's studying history of the area, it's a research facility. They have a room there that I could live in.
Yes.
It is incredible.
The facility is wonderful. I'm just interested in the amount of usage it's getting. If
Well-
4 people go into it all year, we have to rethink our
No,
commitment.
no, no.
but-
A lot of people use that library.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for, is those figures.
I was gonna say, the whole time I was on the committee, well, we were in there for Taste of the Trails, our monthly meetings, and they were always busy, and there, every time we went in. And the few times that I've been in the building to do other things, it's always packed with people.
See, I go in 2-3 times a year. And maybe I just picked the wrong times. 1 person, 2 people
No,
maybe.
they have their busy times.
I've been in the library by myself several times.
Yeah.
So that isn't the,
They're keeping their payroll the same.
that is the amount, 121,
Yeah, the
150.
biggest difference seems to be on heat, electricity, and water.
Programs went up by $500.
Yep.
Well, that's actually a good thing. More programs, more kids reading, a good thing.
Water is the same. Telephone's up by 100.
Not like they're trying to put somebody else on the payroll or giving somebody a big raise.
Remember that year?
Make a motion that we support $122,200.
Second.
Who owns the library building?
Well, the library was built for the town of Tilton and Northfield, but it is it a trust, Joyce? It's set
Yeah,
up.
they have trustees. The trustees own it.
So the trust owns the building, and we just fund it?
The library owns itself.
Yeah, okay.
Did you get a second?
I second.
I said all of those in favor, and they said yes.
Okay.
I didn't say yes.
All right,
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
I didn't say it.
okay.
You had that look on your face.
Keep me in mind.
No, I'm all
Be
about
in
the
check.
library. I just wanted to make sure it was being utilized, that's all.
Old Home Day.
I love the library.
There, and I've looked at it a couple of times now, and I heard the explanation, but their finances confuse me.
How so? I sat on the board, well, so did Pat, might be able to answer some of your questions.
I was there at the last meeting when they explained it. So I made it even more pitiful. They still didn't understand it, but
Well, what
I didn't
part?
want the meeting to go over. So I'm looking at their first page. I show the revenue. They carry over balance. Okay, then it shows August 1st, after it, they still had a balance, but I don't understand what the negative comes from.
Me neither, I was just looking at that, how could it be
The other
negative?
side, where they've itemized their expenses. Okay, so this is just revenue.
And this is expenses.
So, and I haven't added these up, but
Well, they're added up on the next one, the back of that sheet.
no, that's their expenses.
That's right, and expenses,
I don't know, understand what the 6409
So was your expenses
That's what they spent.
Okay. But
15.
And they subtract,
That should be
they added
close.
they
this
have
up.
$5,600 in the bank right now. The difference between
11,
that number and the 6,400 they started with is $793.
16. Okay, so 15,555.62 is just the total of their expenses.
Right,
I mean, total revenue.
That's what they took in, yes.
and then they subtract.
But it doesn't include the 6,420.03.
No, I think it does.
Well, if
No,
you
that's
add
the
just-
beginning balance.
If you add just the cents up, 51, 59, and 52, it comes to the 62.
Yeah, the math is wrong.
Is it?
Yeah, Al's got the calculator. The pennies don't add up, so I don't know what else doesn't add up, but it's wrong.
If you add the 03 into the pennies, yeah, it doesn't add up right.
What's the discrepancy, Albert?
I'm gonna add up all the total lines, see if it comes up right.
Well, Pat's
If they get it
adding it
right.
up now. What'd you get?
I have 15,555.62.
Now,
And
does
that's
that
without
include the
this?
6,420.03?
It does not.
Okay, now add that
So
in.
they must have a remaining balance in their account of $5,626.74.
They
That's
do.
what I'm thinking, yes.
They do.
What's the difference
And the
between
number at the
64
bottom-
and 56?
The number at the bottom is the difference, I think, between this
Their
and
revenue
this.
and their expenses.
Yeah.
That's right.
The 16,409.
They spent $7,300 more than they took in.
And they took that out, and if you, so if you subtract 793.29 from the balance,
Yep,
you got 5,626.74. So right now in the bank, they have 5,626.74.
That's right.
and then the number at the very bottom is, I think, the difference between,
Revenue and expenses.
yes.
Yes.
So,
That's exactly right. 6,423.
Well, they did it odd, but the numbers are
cents
there.
minus 5626.74 is $793.29.
what are you looking
Okay.
for?
Now, I do know that, all right. you
It
say-
cost them,
They
in
have
expenses, it was $16,000 to run the Old Home Day. So if
The
you
biggest
take into
expense
account,
being the fireworks.
right, if you take into account, they have $5,600 right now, and they take in a revenue about what they did last year of $15,000.
But that's including with the donations from Northfield and Tilton.
Right, doesn't include that, that's about $20,000 they have to work with.
That includes
Yes, it
that.
does. The donations
It
at the
includes
top.
Yep.
Yeah.
5,000 from the two towns is included in the 15,555.62.
So if they get that, it's about $20,000.
If they get what?
If they get the same donations as they got this past year,
It would be 15,555.6.
right, plus what they have in the bank of 5626, which is about $20,000, right, $2,100.
Same as last year.
And last year, they spent about 16.5 for expenses.
We don't have this year's expenses
Yeah, right there, 16,409.
for 13, okay. Okay,
The fireworks actually went up last year.
It's going up this year, though. Did it go up last year, or are they saying it's going up this year?
He wanted to go up. We got a quote that was lower, so he held the line.
Right.
But everybody, I think, is going up, from what I understand. The other guy was trying to get our business kind of thing and lowballed. So chances are that line will be more.
Yep.
Now, I guess the question is, how much of a surplus does the Old Home Day Committee need? What would they use that money for?
The only reason why they have a surplus
I know why.
is because of the rain out one year, remember?
And not only that, but, we shorted them a little bit on our donation the following year, because they did have that money in the bank. But, yeah, if they have a failure of the refrigeration system in that trailer and have to buy refrigerators, or they use the money to buy the grills, they use the money to buy the fryers.
right.
Right.
Those kind of things. If they have a key equipment failure, that money is their cushion. Because the people that do this, and I know Pat and Sandy and Catherine have all been to these meetings, and the people they donations and community involvement and businesses and people, and everybody's a volunteer down there, basically. I think it's a great thing for the town. I totally support the Old Home Day, and I would make a motion to fund them at their requested level of $2,500.
I second that motion. Not only
Fills
are
up
we,
the streets it fills up the streets in downtown Tilton. I really like that.
I guess that not only are we 100% volunteers, we even have to pay for our own lunch.
Yeah.
So motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Anyone? All those in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes. Opposed? Okay, all in for it. Okay. Memorial Day. I have an issue with this.
Well, at the last time we went over this, we kept it at the 200, and we're going to get in touch with the Legion and see if the town can become more involved in a Memorial Day.
And that's why I think it should be,
More?
yep, because we wanted to have a parade or something
Something more than what happens.
something more than what happens during to support.
How can we actually get a parade going, or is that American Legion, we all get together?
Work with them and the chief, and he can get a parade going and
Should
nothing.
also ask the Board of Selectmen in the town of Northfield if they want to be a part
Absolutely.
of that effort,
Yep.
for sure.
Yep.
Get the Veterans Home involved in it.
Yes.
What's that woman's name up
Peg.
there? Peg?
Well, I remember one year, years ago, they used to bring out the tractors and the fire engines and,
I have pictures of huge Memorial Day
yes,
parades.
yes.
They used to have
And
them
then
when
they
I was a
stopped.
kid.
Block that was, but yeah.
Yeah. and
I'd
then
like
they
to see
stopped.
that. I'd really like to see that back. I mean, it's not, I think that we can do it for little money, and I think it's a tremendous asset to the community. It really does bring the community out.
It's really expensive to put on parades. If you have bands, they're usually between $400 and $600 a piece.
Police,
You gotta get your parade permits.
traffic.
So, I mean, it can be costly, but if
Yeah.
we share it between 3 different entities,
Right.
the Legion, Tilton, and Northfield, then I think it would be,
It'd be nice to have more banners and things like that. Like
Yeah.
when you go through the town of Alton on Memorial Day weekend, like,
Wow.
Yeah, they're blown away, because they've got banners everywhere, and I mean,
Now,
you
they-
know that,
They still do, because I remember doing it one year with the Scouts, and we went to every single memorial. I mean, we walked, and then afterwards, they let us go rest in the American Legion. Plus, we've added another memorial here.
right?
And went all the way down to the Northfield one, and all the way out to the high school, then Park Cemetery.
Yep.
And then did this one here, and the Soldiers Monument.
So why don't we send a letter to within the next couple of days, and see if the Legion would join in with us in Northfield and, share a Memorial Day parade with us, and see what their feedback is. If their feedback is, no, I'm sorry, we can't do it this year, maybe next year, then we'll just forget about it this year and we'll do it next
Well,
year.
who says they can't? Northfield or the Legion?
Oh, no, don't go there.
Legion.
No.
Thought you'd fallen into it.
We don't need the Legion's financial participation to throw a parade. If they can contribute, hallelujah, but this is a parade in Tilton, winding through Northfield,
You don't want to use, they already do something.
Yes.
I know they
We
do.
don't want to come in and say.
I've been a
take
part of that.
over.
I'm not suggesting that either, but if they can't participate
We
financially,
want to piggyback on
I
it.
don't think that we should,
Right,
we'll wait, or,
we've got to, we got to see what the Legion is doing, because that's their big thing, and they come through town and they do it, and I'd really like,
so we should help them.
yep,
Correct.
Well, we
Assist
need to
them.
go down to the Legion one night.
okay, all right. I'm a
Sounds
member.
like we adjourn the meeting here and reconvene at the
I'm a member
Legion.
of the one in Hudson, but I can get in here.
But have you served in
No, my
don't
father.
have to serve.
I'm in the auxiliary.
auxiliary?
My fathers, my brothers, all of them. I'm a card-carrying member.
All right, yeah, why don't we go? You want to do
I've
that?
never been.
You haven't been in there? Oh, it's a hoot.
Oh, you gotta go Friday or Saturday night. Saturday night's really good.
All right,
We'll go meet with them.
okay.
Let's leave that line until we hear back. Let's leave that line until we hear back, and we
All right.
can plan accordingly.
All right. Cultural,
My Grange
Well, not
spreadsheet.
necessarily sober, but
That again.
Cultural Grange expense, this is telephone, heat, Terminex, Mango.
Mango, water, sewer, fire extinguishers, and a little bit of money for light bulbs, trash bags, some cleaning supplies.
I don't have that.
Yeah, you do.
But no, I didn't give the
No,
spreadsheet.
you didn't
No,
have the
This is my
spreadsheet.
little worksheet. I took the
Oh.
expenses that we had, and then I entered, and I went over this with Tim, entered the utilities. In fact, he said I was too low. He had me put it a little bit higher for the heat
So do we get to have a copy?
when I cleaned it up. This is what I was doing this morning. So we came up with $4,800. The telephone and cable service have been moved into IT, but the alarm service is stayed in the Grange
Well,
budget.
why do we pay for cable and telephone services?
and garbage bags.
You don't pay for cable, you pay for telephone.
Is that
We pay
so-
telephone because of the
Alarm,
You need to have the
security.
alarm.
Okay. So we wouldn't pay for cable.
but garbage bags.
Why are we paying for garbage bags? It's a small amount, but
I heard it said on any number of occasions that this wouldn't cost the townspeople. The senior center would be operated aside from that. Help us fix it up. Okey dokey. And Mango, telephone, gotta heat the building, God knows.
Right, but we also, other people can use the facility, and we charge for that
Right.
facility. So, light bulbs, toilet paper, some paper
Well,
towels.
if we charge for it, who receives the income from that, the town or the Grange? The senior
We
center.
voted, the selectmen voted that the senior center get the revenue from that.
Okay, then it's a senior center expense. Somebody's gonna stand up and make a stink. Maybe me. Hey, I stood up there, and at the
You
risk
had
of
a
my own
municipal
peril,
building. If
I
you-
supported that move and that senior center, and I
Then
still do.
I totally agree with you.
No, I do.
I totally agree with you, Joe, and I don't have a problem with that one way or another. I do not. I stand by that 150%. But you have to think of in terms of a municipal building, if the seniors were not there, would you have toilet paper? Would you have light bulbs? And would you have it functioning right now? If we were to leave that building right now, for seniors, and find another place, would you use that building for some function? Of course you would.
No.
That building was uninhabitable when we took.
But it's not now.
It wasn't
No.
uninhabitable.
There were squirrels living in it and rodent droppings running down the walls.
That's
The
what?
water was funky, it wasn't on
The
city
water
sewer.
wasn't hooked up. Well, it was
Right,
on
and the
its own
heating
septic
system was
Yes, it
questionable. We had
was.
to put in a whole new heating system, but all of the
But the point is town meeting, something's backing up. That's a backup alarm. Town meeting would never approve any use for the building
No,
up until the senior center plan. So, would it be a functioning building? I
No.
have no idea.
it was, I don't think it was before. We weren't renting it out, were we?
Well,
We were
they
not
fixed it
utilizing
up.
the building, and
No.
you're right, it did need
And so
to
if the
have-
senior center hadn't gone in, would we be stocking it with toilet paper?
No.
And there's some things we would be doing, all right? And I could see the alarm on the building, the electric that had to go with it. But otherwise, we wouldn't be using any of these other things in that building if it weren't for the senior center.
For those items, if it was for municipal use, auxiliary police, meeting space, but specifically for municipal.
We have had a meeting there.
Yeah, we did, I still have the tapes to it.
We have had a meeting there.
Right, but we've had other functions there. When Jeannie Forrester came, you've
Yep.
got the musicians, you've got people that have,
But those aren't organized by the Board of Selectmen.
And that's a function of it being the senior center. If it wasn't the senior center, they'd have met somewhere else or not met
We've
at all.
already
Oh,
established that if there's any
the fire
revenue.
people have gone up there too and met and there's,
there've been baby
Right.
showers and,
But whatever revenue from those meetings goes to the senior center.
right, by
Not
vote
to-
of the commissioners.
So
Not to
that-
the
So that
selectmen.
revenue could go to offset some,
meetings
It
and
could.
things like that, there's no revenue from
Right.
it.
right.
There's,
It could, if they collect
There was
the
a baby
fee, they
shower,
can
yes,
use
there's
that for-
revenue.
Hey, I've given money to the senior center. I will continue my time and any number of pieces of equipment, but I cannot take this back and say, yeah, I know we told you we wouldn't ask you for any money, but, I won't say it.
what's supposed to be in here and what's supposed to be, and what has been for the last 3 years, is what would be the normal everyday expenses as a municipal building, period. And that was what we had put in there 3 years ago, 3 years, right?
At least.
At least 3 years, and that's what we've kept it at. Only this time, we went and looked at it a little bit closer and actually took out monies from it.
Well, and
So it was
has-
6,000, now it's
It
4,800.
has succeeded tremendously.
Right.
So, I mean, I think we were trying to help it to
Right.
succeed at that time. So I agree with Joe, we need to look at it much more closely.
So, the proposed budget is $4,800?
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I'd like to see the more itemized list before I vote on it.
Okay.
If you could print us up your worksheet or whatever, that would be great.
If you move up, you'll notice that we corrected the welfare director's salary.
Oh, yeah, that's a good thing.
That's been changed. And if I could flip over to the front, it'd be easier for me to go down and see what was different from the, oh, yes, we have the moderator, the supervisors, the checklist, and then election and registrations. And I gave you copies of each of their budget requests. I had an opportunity to, in the moderator's budget, his wages go in its own separate line item because that's a payroll-related account. Same with the supervisors, the checklist, that's a payroll-related amount. So the rest of their 2 budget requests falls under election and registration of 4149. And I was looking more closely at their budgets, and they did not include the cost of the school. And I looked that up, and last year, I should say in 2013, we were charged $910.
Wow.
So we'd have to increase that election and registration by $910.
That's what the school charged us?
Wow.
That's for the AV support, and custodians.
Do we have a national election next year?
No, we have a state.
Because we have national election day. We have a state primary, so should that say state election day?
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And then the November election, state.
I think we have to elect representatives to Congress.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I think he just made a mistake. Instead of putting state election day or November 4th, he's got national.
Are you looking at moderator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, that's state, correct. And also, Bernie said that he didn't have his calendar yet from the Secretary of State's office. So he was just going by dates from last year. You haven't received anything from Secretary of State yet?
No, we usually get, local government center sends us out calendars about this time. And
We should be getting them very
down
soon.
there. Try to remember next time in Concord to get some. I think now you have to ask one. I don't think the Secretary of State's office sends them out. I would pick them up.
Cost money.
What is Salmon Run Conservation Area?
That is the piece that they just bought from,
That's the new name.
Sort of it's Old Mill or something.
No, that's the, I'm gonna say it one more time. Martin Meadows. Sorry, Chuck.
Ernie's Peninsula Park. Salmon Run.
so we'd want to increase election and registration.
Yep. Where was it down?
On page 1 of 8. Oh,
Assistant town election, other salaries.
Right, but the only salary that goes in the moderator salary line item is the moderator. All of
These
the,
are all salaries, so it's the bottom. I've got water, soda, pizza. I don't see any expense.
very bottom, well, the total is $4,404.
Right, but the 900 you want to add to it, I don't see in here.
Oh, it wasn't in there, that's what I'm saying.
So they've never allowed anything from
No.
the school's expense?
No, we've always included that. They didn't, it's not in,
He didn't have that information.
right.
so it should be 5,300?
And
Where are we
I'm sorry,
at?
the amount was 900.
We spent $910, but a lot of that depends upon how many hours we're there, and we have to keep track of how many audio-visual people
Well,
they give us. We have to
Joyce,
watch
What
that.
line are we on?
over here, are we here at moderator on this line?
Yep.
$4,149? You're increasing that by 910?
No, election and registration.
I mean, election and registration. 4149? He has 44404.
Right, he doesn't have the school, rental of the school in his.
And if you add that, it's even going to be higher.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
No, 4149 without the school, and he's got 4404 without the school.
Right, but his moderator's salary, if you go up to the top, is his moderator projected salary for 2014. He has 1625. 1,600 of that goes in the moderator line item. So, because it's a payroll-related line item.
Okay, so add $910
Oh, you mean in our budget?
school
In our budget.
to a budget.
This whole amount, this $5,314 doesn't go into one line item, is what you're telling us, in our budget. Is that what you're telling us?
Where's the moderator's salary?
3 lines up.
In other words, you take the
Count
wages out
ballots?
No,
for the
here.
moderator and put it in.
Oh,
another
oh,
line item,
I'm on the wrong
and
list.
Everything else goes
Sorry.
in a line item.
Goes in election,
I
and
get
same with the supervisor of the checklist. Their salaries goes in a payroll line
So
item.
this is the breakdown of 2 lines in our budget.
3.
3.
Because
We have a moderator. salary.
moderator, supervisor checklist, and
election registration.
Oh, I wasn't including those because they have a separate, this is the supervisors over here.
Right, but if you look at underneath his wages, his non-wages are $1,345. So election and registration includes that.
Whoa, you just lost me. How does the supervisor's checklist budget merge with the moderator's budget?
It doesn't. It merges with election and registration.
Election and registration. On the budget book, on this right here.
This is 2 lines, this is a line.
Yes, and they're all
This is
incorporated.
2 lines,
That's
because
2
there's
lines.
wages.
There's wages,
And there's 2 lines on this one?
because there's wages.
Okay.
I know, it is confusing, and
Well, no,
that's why
somebody
I
said that this
double-checked
was
to
3
see,
lines.
yeah, moderator, supervises the checklist, election and registration.
No, this is checks, this is 2 lines. This is 2 lines.
Right. But the second line of that one and the second line of that one are 1 line.
That's okay, that's fine. I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
I'm talking about,
Yes.
this page
Yes.
represents 2 lines. This page
Yes.
represents 2 lines.
Yes.
Together, they represent 3.
I
Correct.
thought she was going to say, don't bother me with that.
And
No, I,
So 2 and 2 is 3, is what you're trying to convince me of.
further complicated, I double-checked to see, did either of them put in
So the-
using the school?
did they overlap?
The election and registration budget needs to be $5,059.
$5,059?
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna let Joyce figure that out. As long as I've got the,
And just so you know, for them, these are just estimates.
Yes.
We only spend what we have.
What was the
So
figure
it's
for that?
still more.
$5,059. It's $41.49 plus $9.10.
So that'll be pretty much what we spent in 2012, which is the last time we had a state general election. So we're in line there.
the supervisor's checklist budget is 3 of them. So basically, all these figures, this $2,900 is their wages,
That is correct.
and then the bottom one is advertisements.
That's correct. Now, what they try and do is when they get their schedule for the school district and the fire district and the water district, they try and schedule checklist sessions so that they can advertise as many as possible in one ad.
Some sessions are mandatory.
Right. But say if they have a special session or, so that's that. And then the other, if you go down, I've been trying to scan and send to you any communications I get from Property Liability Trust and the Health Trust, just to let you know that they're still working on their reorganization and getting their dates. Okay, and the other one we worked on was reappraisal of property.
Yep.
And of course, I didn't bring my little piece of paper to explain this. Last time we looked at the budgets, I gave you a copy of our 2-year contract. Every year, we budget 30, where am I? 38,568, which is made up of our regular monthly contract assessing and another 15,000 and some for data verification.
Right.
Okay, so now we're actually doing the update, so I'm budgeting the same amount, which is the 15,000 that we'd usually spend on data verification now goes towards the sales update plus the additional. So what we would withdraw from capital reserves would be the difference of the 91,900, which I don't have my numbers in front of me, but it's like 53,055. So we would have a, which you don't budget for what you are going to withdraw.
Right.
But somewhere we'd have to let people know that the balance is, that we're doing the update and the balance is being paid for with a withdrawal from capital reserve. And that will leave us about, I don't have the interest amounts, but you'll still have money left in that account. So we'd probably, when we get to doing transfers to capital reserves, we probably want to continue to budget money for the next cycle.
Now, the voters seem to appreciate that we do that every year instead of hitting them with one large lump sum.
Makes more sense.
Yes,
It's got to
it
be
does.
done.
We know it's not going away, so why not put a little bit every year instead of a whole lot one year?
I have a question. Yep. I'm looking at the current year expenditures, August 2013. If you look at town reassessment capital reserve, right? Available balance 2013 is 56,000, my knowledge. So if I look at this one,
He doesn't have the balances in it.
revaluation CRF,
Yeah, this is what we put in,
that's what we put in for this year, and that's my question, is there's no balances.
right,
So
it'd be in that
these
report.
balances are as close as
Right.
they can get. And my understanding is the 20,000 authorized by town meeting to be deposited in 2000, and there's the 20,000. So at the end of this year, pre-town meeting, it will be 56,000. So we're asking to put in, is this reappraisal of property 38,568 is not going into the capital reserve, right?
No, we'll-
Because that's going to be done by warrant article. Separate. What's the difference? Reappraisals that we do every year.
right, it's our regular contract assessing and data verification.
I just want to make sure, I had to explain that to somebody.
Right, but part of that,
Reassessment is when we do our town
the sales update,
Revaluation,
Our
yeah.
2014.
14. Yep. Part of that 38,000, though, is money that we would normally be spending on the data verification part of it is actually going to pay for the update now. And the balance of that update, I think it was, what, 63,500? Of course, I don't have my contract in front of me. We've already collected money for that, so we're going to withdraw that from capital reserve. And we'll still have some money left in capital reserve, but when we get to doing our capital reserve transfers in the budget, we're going to still want to put some money in that. Because we'll start another 4-year cycle.
What are we doing on wages?
I think what Tim did is he budgeted a 2.5% merit line item.
I'm seeing 1%
Seeing 1%?
beside the director of highway, chief, town administrator, finance.
Oh, that department request versus budget request? That's the, didn't he do budget transfers? Didn't he move out the merit amounts? Yes, he did.
Just recently.
Yeah, just recently he did, okay. So once you move those amounts into the budget amount, and then he's doing the department request versus the 2013 budget, but see, we haven't asked for anything, because it's down in the merit line item.
But that 1%
That's why it's only showing-
won't come up again in
Correct.
the budget page. This is just letting us know that we
Yes.
have moved.
Yes.
The 2013 merit
Yes.
raises into those lines.
Right.
But the merit raise pool 6314
Right,
is based on a 2.5%?
yes.
May I say something? This may not be an appropriate time to bring it up. And if anybody throws anything at me, I'll cry.
I'm moving. I won't be in line.
I have really thought a lot about this, and last night's budget committee brought up something in my head, and maybe light dawns on Marblehead, I don't know. I think that we should revisit the town clerk wage versus putting it into next year. And if it means getting a clarification from perhaps maybe Dan Crean, I'm willing to go that route. I think that you have if you really think this through, that we submitted a budget to the budget committee, we had public hearings on the budget, and that was all included, the 2.5% was included in that budget. And then we found out that we couldn't do it as a merit, but we could do it as a wage. How do we legally do that as a wage adjustment? And I'd like to find out how we could do that and not have to go into a new budget season and ask for that again when we've already asked for it this year and got it approved.
I did not understand that the merit raise included the town clerk tax collector. She's a completely separate entity from us.
When it came to us, it was always, it has always been line by line, when it came to us, that it included her. At the budget public hearing, it was brought up that it included her. And it has been for years that it's included her, along with the deputy.
I missed that entirely.
Along with the deputy. So that part, I'm very comfortable saying that has always been included. The problem that we have is that it came up this year that we don't have control over that. It's the people that vote, and the people did vote this year to do that. So how do we execute that?
Are you suggesting that we increase the wages for the town clerk tax collector arbitrarily?
No, not arbitrarily. I want to ask legally how we can execute that within our budget and go forward with that 2.5% that the townspeople voted for.
By not recognizing that it is a raise based on merit, by recognizing that the town meeting authorized her an extra 2.5% of wage this year, every year that she's worked for us, that there was a raise for any employee, whether elected official or not, has been in with the rest of the employees. We've never separated it out for the town clerk.
It's always been.
It was understood by town meeting that that wasn't.
I was at town meeting, I didn't understand it. That was not, I attended every meeting that we're talking about. I didn't understand it to be that.
Well, it's been that way for 10 years.
I still don't think that's a good enough reason to just propagate the thing. She asked for a raise in her new budget, right?
Yeah, but you gotta take in consideration that when we do the budget, like last year, or for the following year for the raises, her budget's in there, which gets approved by the town. So that, it's not like it's being hid or being brought out, we're throwing anything extra on the table. It's already been voted on to give her the 2.5%.
Correct.
Especially since her wage from the previous year in the budget shows that it increased.
Right.
Well, how did that happen?
So it's there.
It's
Right.
there. The information is there.
It's not like we're doing
So, let me finish my
thought process. Go ahead.
what I was going to say is, so you don't base it on merit. We can't. You put those monies into the wage that she was going to have and then correct it so there's no confusion that you put a wage in there is no raise or merit, that you increase her wage by a percentage that the rest would get or not.
Because you can't label it a merit with town clerk.
And the town meeting votes on the wage.
And then
there's no, do we give her an increase in salary, do we do anything? Town meetings.
As it should be.
Black and white.
Right, and then you put in next year, going forward, what we're looking at 2.5%, up to 2.5%, we don't give everyone that, but up to 2.5% for merit for folks. So it's up to Cindy to say, I would like this for my wage, and then the people vote on that specific
Absolutely.
line item.
Going forward.
But I think she should not be penalized because we need to find out, we've been doing it for 10 years for this way, and the people already voted on it this way. We should be able to do a wage adjustment. It wasn't clear what Paul Sanderson had said in our letter, and I think it was the way we were asking the question, but somebody brought it up last night at the Budget Committee, and I'm sitting there thinking, if the Budget Committee's going to say, well, why didn't you give it to her if, in fact, it was voted on at town meeting?
So what you want to do is correct a wrong.
Right.
And make it right forward.
The rest of the story here is what complicated it more is when we took the merit raise
Right.
and made it one line instead of leaving it in the department
office,
line.
Right.
in the
When it
department.
was within the town clerk, tax collector's budget,
Yep.
it was very clear.
And that's where
When we moved it, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm not, if we do, going forward, we keep, now that we know it's a wage, we keep it under the town clerk, tax collector, but I'm still in favor of keeping it as a pool, because we don't,
Let
there's,
town meeting decide. You let town meeting decide. It's just like the stipends for the elected selectmen. It's there, they decide. They can reduce it, they can increase it.
Yeah.
The town clerk is an elected official, her wage is there. I think everyone that
That's what I'm
comes to
saying.
town meeting can look at any one of these line items and at town meeting, call for a vote to reduce or increase. Every single one of these line items. So if you leave it as a wage, include whatever. I mean, she can ask.
I'm saying the same thing you were saying.
She can increase her wage by 20%.
right. It's up to
She
the
can
people.
ask.
It's up to the people, right,
It's not up to us to decide. She's an elected official. It's up to the legislative body to decide.
right.
And if we don't include it in our budget, she can stand up at town meeting and say, I make a motion to increase
Right.
that wage by 100%.
Right.
Whatever she wants,
But you know,
like we did with stipends.
going past this year, I mean, getting past this year, we've got a plan and a solid plan to do that. But I still think that how do we correct what needs to be
We're the
done?
ones that caused the anomaly. We
Right.
created the problem when we combined it.
We did.
Did the one lump sum.
And the only way to fix it is to do the proper thing, give it what she was voted to get,
You can adjust your wage.
and go about our business.
Now, are you
Next year.
getting
I have
something?
already moved on.
See on this?
I don't feel there's any
We have to
correction
think-
necessary. I don't know what we've done for 10 years, but we
Have something
existed a lot longer than that prior to this. If she wants to increase her salary item 5% to make up for the 2.5% that she was cheated out of this time, so be it, and the town can vote on it. I don't think we need to make any kind of correction
But
whatsoever.
why, but my feeling
I
is,
don't think I
why,
created anything.
we did.
I didn't.
It was in there for her.
Not in my
Why-
world,
we're
it
the
wasn't.
one-
It was never intended to raise her salary.
Oh, Joe,
We
and
do
you know
not
what?
review the town
The
clerk's
blindfolds
performance.
off. Take the blinds off.
We do not
It's not the-
approve
it's
the
not the-
town
it's not the
clerk's
performance.
performance.
It's not
We
the
did not
merit
know
raise.
that at the time.
I knew it.
No, we did not.
I knew it. We do not.
We've done it for
critique
10 years.
Well, I wasn't a selectman then.
Uh,
I've never voted for that, and I can't vote for it now.
If she could seek other.
My question was, can
Right.
we talk to Dan and get Dan's advice on how to do this, correct the wrong, or do you just want to make a motion to correct the wrong and take a vote? I don't care.
But
I don't think we need an attorney's
I'm
opinion.
trying to say
I don't think
to-
we need to consult an attorney. We can vote to raise the salary of the town clerk. I have no problem with that. I have a problem with that whole merit pool versus town clerk money. If she wants to correct it, she can put it in her budget for this
Well,
coming year.
it was in her budget originally.
We took it out and put it in a merit pool.
When
We did that, Joe.
Not me.
Tim did
Yes, we
it.
did. All the selectmen approved
Yes.
it.
We approved Tim
I signed
taking all
to
those-
give the town clerk a merit raise.
You signed,
To
you
move the money.
approved to move the money into one pool, merit
A merit
line
pool,
item.
Certainly, but I never thought we were going to
And
give
that
a merit raise
included
into that
her.
position.
That took money out of her account, too.
That's correct. It took money out
That I
of,
was unaware of.
Yes, it did. It
And
took away,
maybe I did inadvertently, but that was never my intent.
but anyway, originally, she had a line in her budget that was going to increase her pay. And we took that out, we took it out of the police, we took it out of the highway, and we put it all together in the administration budget and called it merit pool.
Yep.
That's what we did. Tim did it, and we approved it. So we took the money out of her budget, and then we find out after the fact that if it's not in her budget, she can't have it.
what's wrong.
So,
We should never have done what we did.
Right.
Or we
So-
should have at least,
Left it
should have
there.
left that portion in that budget.
right,
Well, if everybody's comfortable with it, the way to change it to a wage adjustment, I'm okay with that. If you're comfortable going to ask Dan Crean, I'm comfortable with, I'd prefer that, but,
well, I would like to say, I think we should get something in writing. That way, if it comes up at town meeting, we have something right there to show what we did.
You have the law. You don't need something in writing from an attorney. It's very clear in the law.
I have to agree with Catherine on this.
Right,
You just can't base it on
right,
merit raise.
right.
We know what we did to create the problem.
Put it into a merit pool.
Local government center has already said, if we left it in there,
Yep, it would have been okay.
it's much more clear. And now
but
it's,
if we do that, then I want to make sure that this line item going forward goes down that amount of money,
Which line
Because
item?
she's put
the
in for
wage.
5%.
Right. So you would want to move to adjust her wage, and you'd have to come up with a dollar amount. And then, and where you would be taking that money, I mean, you can take it from any line item you want, but we do have line item 266, which has a surplus in it.
Yes.
So you could take it from there, and then he would then
So-
transfer that budget amount and make that retro to July 1.
Now, is
So
that going to cover it?
all right, yeah, I will make a motion then. Are we ready for a motion, or you want a
Sure.
discussion?
All right.
I will make a motion that we make a wage adjustment, retro or not?
yeah, it should go
Okay, retro to when
July 1 of...
July 1 of 2013 of 2.5% for the town clerk tax collector, and we will take it from line item 266.
266?
Yes. Well, you need the whole number, or just,
Yeah. Do you want the whole number, Kathy?
It's a merit raise pool line.
We'll take it from 413099266.
Got it.
Second.
Is there any more discussion?
Did you,
Or
in your motion, did you mention that it was to correct
to correct the wrong?
or wrong?
We can put
I
that in the
wanna make sure
minutes.
this is the minutes, that it's explained that because we lump sum the merit pool raise,
and took her money and put it in the merit room.
And we should not have done that,
should have left it in, at least her portion in her budget.
so that we,
Town clerk's budget?
right. We should have left her portion into hers so that it would be a wage adjustment and not a merit according to the law. So we're correcting it. Thank you for not throwing anything at me. I appreciate it. All right, I don't really care
I didn't
how the
do
vote
that.
comes out. I'm
I
just,
didn't throw that.
all those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Me. Selectman Jessman is opposed.
Abstain?
I already opposed. I'm not going to abstain.
I was going, I said aye.
Are you in favor?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
everybody said aye except for that
I didn't hear it.
Jessica.
I didn't hear, I only heard you and Catherine say
Oh,
aye.
I know.
We're big eyes, I guess.
So there's 4 ayes.
You oppose.
They were all ayes, but Selectman Jessman, he opposed.
Okay,
Now we have to reduce the town clerk tax collector's line item.
by 2.5%.
Ask her to reduce it.
Yes.
Well, do you think we ought to ask her to come up and we can explain it to her?
Okay. Buzzer.
And ask her just to, what's the,
You'll very clearly in the minutes explain what we've
Have
done and why we
everything you
did what we
said.
did. Thank you.
And why I object,
I have some,
It'll be a long motion.
I'm sure it will.
communication from LGC if we need to add it to the minutes.
And we need to have Tim take that out of the merit
I'm
line.
not saying I wouldn't vote for a raise for her.
You're going to put it in her budget. He's got to reduce that 6314.
somehow.
I have 1840.
Yeah, well, I hear your arguments, but I can't go with it.
Good call.
Well, you would have that. Do you have your admin sheet from 2 years ago? That had the salaries on the back of it.
Yeah, this one?
But there was a mistake made.
No, that's an expenditure report.
Oh, and that particular earthing into the pool was the mistake. But there was no guarantee.
Oh, this one, no, that's
Any of
the
those
same thing.
employees. No. Not an egregious error.
I brought gas.
Hey, Senator, how are you?
Senator!
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Cindy, can you have a seat for a sec?
Sure. I was just over at the Tilton School.
Are you coming tonight to the Taste of the Trails?
Yes.
Great. Cindy,
Yes.
the selectmen are going over the budget, and we,
Eliminated your wage.
what we've done is, we've,
Can I
we
have
have,
this patch on me right now for pain, for stress?
we have taken another look at the wage and made a motion to correct the wrong, and we never should have taken it out of your wage and put it into merit pool. So what we've done is we've made a motion to increase your wage this year by 2.5% retro to July 1st.
Yay!
However, could you, in your upcoming budget where you have
Correct it.
correct it and lower that portion of it?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we have your
Made a
permission to do
motion,
that?
did it pass?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
This way too, it'll make it easier because then you'll only be asking for 2.5%. just like
Exactly.
everything else, so that you'll be even.
But you're
Yes.
responsible for what you, going forward, you're responsible for what you want in your raise.
Yes.
Whatever it is, you have to bring that forward to us. We can't.
Yeah.
And you have to be clear, that's in your wage adjustment now. It doesn't belong in the merit
Absolutely. It's going to be its own line item.
because of the law. Okay.
We eliminated it from our merit raise.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That takes a lot of heartache out of going into town meeting, you know? So, yay!
All right.
Thank you.
So ask Tim to lower that by that amount, okay?
Yeah.
The wage adjustment.
Increase the other.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
See you later.
Yep.
Are your feet touching the ground?
Not yet.
All right, so I have another, oh, she's with Sandy. Do we want to peruse the rest of the budget, or do we want to go into selectments, because we only have till 4?
I was gonna say, yeah, we gotta
Well, we
get
got
out of
most
here.
of selectmen stuff done. Are we not?
All right. I have a letter. I had a letter
Somewhere.
that needs to be addressed.
Oh, the one from Dennis? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yep. Catherine, you'll love this one. You're gonna love this one. I'm gonna read a letter from this was addressed to Dennis Fields. It says, Mr. Dennis Fields, my name is Melissa Burke. I am a resident in Tilton. I have a boundary fence which goes around one side of my house and backyard. The fence is a horse fence, so it has 2 boards that go across and the rest is open. My neighbors do not own horses but do have chickens. I am writing to you because they have put up an electric fence approximately 1 foot from the ground attached to the horse fence. I am expecting my first child in January, and I also take my 2-year-old nephew once a week.
My concerns are that the fence is in reach of the child, and if a ball went over near the fence where they would have to reach to get it, it would most likely result in the child getting shocked by electric fence. I feel as though there is a safety hazard and feel very uncomfortable with this situation. According to the current law, Section 473:5, legal fences, it states that all fences of such height as to be reasonable, adequate for their purpose and in good repair, consisting of rails, boards or stone wall, barbed, electrified, or woven wire, all brooks, rivers, ponds, creeks, ditches, hedges, and other things, deemed by the fence viewers, deemed by the fence viewers to be equivalent thereto, shall be accounted legal and sufficient fences. I have gone to the town, and they said it was considered a legal fence, and that there was nothing that I could do except get the law updated. I am asking to please address this situation for the safety of children. There are children who have undiagnosed heart conditions that touching an electric fence could potentially be fatal. Also, those who have a pacemaker, such as my grandmother, who comes to visit and then get shocked could end up with serious complications. My hope is to update this law to make my home and a yard a safer place to play. I appreciate your time on this matter and hope to speak with you soon.
Well, I guess
Give you some history.
my first question, though, is who in the town did she talk to that said this is a legal fence? Attached to her fence?
It's not on her property. Well,
It's not on her property?
let me give you some history of this.
Okay.
I was first contacted March 20th, 2013, and the complaint was that this person's neighbor's dog was entering their property and using it as a toilet. He has, I think there's 7 young people on the property, I can't tell you their ages, but he was concerned because there's dog stuff all over the place. Health issue, health officer.
Now, is this the dog that lives at the horse farm?
No, this is the neighbor's dog. So, there's a couple of violations there. We have a leash law, so dogs are supposed to remain on their property.
Right,
We also have a dog poop law.
right.
So your dog's not supposed to go use somebody else's property for their bathroom. And they're, under the nuisance law, there's a health issue because of the dog, which does carry disease and parasites. So I went up and spoke with the owner at Tin Corner Farm. And, you know, they wanted to try to work with their neighbor and resolve the issue. I hadn't heard from them.
Just so I
For a
understand,
little while.
just so I understand what you're saying, so the people at Tin Corners Farm, it was their dog or the next door neighbors?
No, it's their neighbor's dog.
Okay, it's their neighbor's
Burke's
dog.
dog.
Okay,
Yeah, it's Burke's dog. So
Okay.
Burke's dog is going over here. Now, Tin Corner Farm has been there for, well, ever.
yep,
They have a fence, it's an existing fence.
Right.
It was there, the previous owners
Yep.
had it, it was a
Yep.
horse farm.
yep,
And my understanding is, when I spoke to them on October 2nd, the fence in question is not a boundary fence. It is beyond the boundary on the Tuck property or Tin Corner Farm property.
Right.
So it's not a boundary fence. I went over and did see a metal pin, and the fence is approximately 12 to 18 inches on the pin. I didn't go locate this one, I located the one by the road. But the fence seemed to be straight, pretty
Right.
much, so. And then when I talked,
Definitely on their property.
when I talked to Burke, the fence was on Tuck's property. I don't know if that's changed, so it's not a boundary fence, so it's
Right.
definitely not within the fence viewer's
right.
authority. So anyway, through the summer, off and on, I would get a phone call or an email from Tuck letting me know that the problem still existed, wasn't quite as prevalent, that it sounded like the Burkes were trying to resolve the dog issue, underground fence, one of those electric dog fences, but that there were some failures in it, and the dog was still coming over. They still wanted to work with, and so I was just at this point advising them of what they could do, blah, blah, blah. I go there on October 2nd. Now we're in a situation where the Burks are disconnecting the electric fence that's been installed on this existing wood rail.
Ooh.
The farm has chickens, so the fence is twofold: to keep the chickens in the yard, which is why it's so low, and to keep the dog out of the yard, because now they're a little concerned that the dog might kill chickens, which is very common. They are not cutting the fence, as I understand it. There were, I don't know if any of you are familiar with electric fences, but plastic handles that are used for gates that the electric doesn't charge. My understanding is that they were simply disconnecting the gate. Okay. So I go down and speak with Burke. Nice young people. I mean, they're both nice people, but she's very, very concerned about young children touching the fence. Well, the fence that they're touching is on someone else's property, number one. And number two, it's very, very rare that anyone has any medical or harmful effects from an electric fence. The amperage is so low.
Right.
And there's a disconnect in it, in the current. However, there is a possibility, I don't know if it ever happened, that somebody with unknown heart conditions could have it.
Go ahead.
When
I had a question.
When I spoke to the Burks, they admitted that the fence was not on their property. I said, well, the fence is legal. If they're, even if this area was not zoned for agricultural purposes, the agricultural use is a non-conforming use. It's grandfathered. And they can continue to enjoy that use, which includes the fence or an electric fence.
Why couldn't you have electric fence
They were
anyways?
all going to try to get along, is when I left it. I mean, it was a nice situation. Neither of them wanted to cause any problem to the other, but the Burks are very concerned about the electric fence. The Tucks are very concerned about their chicken and the neighbor's dog coming on their property, so it's a very hard situation.
I'm concerned about walking across the road and get hit by a car. Can we fix that?
Yeah, we can outlaw cars
Now, I mean, I've touched those wires before,
or walking.
and you let go. I mean, it's not anything that's going to knock you on your butt. It just won't. It's,
Well, it can't, because it doesn't grab
Right.
hold of you and keep you. It lets you
Right.
go because of the pulse. But
yeah.
the fence viewers, I don't see that we have any jurisdiction
No.
there.
Town has no jurisdiction in there.
Nope.
Well, we do. I mean, number one, you have a dog that's violating the dog ordinances, and if
On the
the
opposite
dog,
side.
and if the
Yeah.
dog is defecating, urinating on the lawn, it is a nuisance health issue.
But I'm talking about the fence, I'm just talking about the fence,
The fence
Not the
is a
dog.
legal fence.
Well, then we're done.
with the fence.
Legal fence on their own
Fence.
private property.
Right.
Nuisance fences, or they don't call them nuisance fences, what do they call them? Pest fence, I don't know, there's a name. It always throws me, but there is an expression in the fence
Yes.
ordinances about
Anything over 5 feet
6
being
feet,
being a spite fence.
spite fence, thank you.
Yeah.
I love that expression, a spite fence. It's not, and again, it's not on the boundary, it's just,
Even in normal circumstances on your property, if I want to put a fence that's electrified, I can do it. There's no law saying you can't.
We still have.
right.
Smart person would put a sign up saying, electrical fence in use.
I mean, it's an unfortunate situation.
I probably would, just because, but that's not even necessary.
But yet they are.
They have their issues.
This is
Yes.
the
And I don't know how
2014,
the
it
Burks
says
feel more comfortable
2013.
about the electric
Merit,
fence.
and
Well,
he
it
does
seems to
have
me
that
like if
as a
they had
placeholder.
kept their dog home from the beginning and
So
kept it off
this
the neighbor's yard, then
2.5%
maybe the neighbor
is-
wouldn't have put up the fence.
Well, they also
Is in
have
that merit
chickens that,
Yes.
number.
they're
6314.
aware that there's an issue of your dog's on my
6314.
property,
Yep.
so they don't now
It
want
is in
to
there
put
for
their
next
chickens
year,
on
so
their
we want
property.
it
Right.
to get out of there, and he has
Yeah.
to
And
take
they're
2.5
concerned
out
about
of
the
here,
dog
2.5 out of
Right.
here.
They're each very justified, but
Right. Well, it doesn't sound like anything that the
Right now, I
town
think
gets
it's-
into.
I think it's more civil than anything.
Yep.
Okay, so will somebody get back to her and say that it's going to be more civil than,
I think we should get back to her, and it should be...
Also copy-
Joyce is just saying that,
and also copy Dennis Fields on it
Yes,
and say it's more neutral?
yep. It's a civil
I
thing.
believe if you look in the...
Pee on an electric fence. I got sucked into that, but only once.
It talks about boundaries,
Whoa.
doesn't it?
Yep,
Doesn't have to be a boundary fence for it to be it.
yes, but this isn't a boundary fence. And the farmhouse, they had a survey done, so they should have bounds and stakes. And you said you found one, and it was well within that,
One is readily apparent
Yeah.
near the road.
yeah.
But like I said, I didn't go to the back.
All right, so we're going to move on because it's 2:45.
Yep.
There's one more letter I'd like to read so that it doesn't get waylaid. This came in today. Dear Board of Selectmen, Main Street speed limit. I received your request to lower the speed limit on US Route 3, New Hampshire Route 11, AKA Main Street, to 25 miles per hour. As you know, we've been considering this request for several months as we develop criteria for consideration of similar requests throughout the state. I've completed the engineering and traffic investigation for this location and determined that 25 mile an hour would be appropriate from approximately the traffic signal at New Hampshire 132 to the Monument School Street. I have attached copies of the speed study and engineering evaluation that support this decision. The sign work to establish this limits will be completed in the near future. I appreciate your collective patience as we work through this process. All right? So it only takes us to the monument here, just downtown, from Park Street to this monument, School Street.
Speed picks up.
That's it. Then it picks up again by Cumbies. Okay. The other thing is, can we set a date for the downtown Halloween for October 25th?
No, it says I've completed in traffic for this location, determined that the 20 mile at New Hampshire 132.
Which
Yeah.
is exit 20.
Oh, I was 132 up here at exit
Yeah,
20.
it's right over
Park
here.
Street is the rest of 132.
Yes.
So Park Street to School Street?
Yep.
So, once you get to the monument, I can go around that corner at...
30 miles an hour.
30 miles an hour.
We need to respond, I'm sorry, that makes no sense.
Okay,
No
yes.
sense whatsoever.
It's my understanding that Halloween downtown is generally done in...
The same time as
the same
Tanger.
time as Tanger Outlet.
And Tanger's doing it the 25th, which is a Friday.
Yeah.
And Cindy is working on a prize for the best dressed costume
Seems
For the
fine to me.
merchants?
for the merchants. Right. So it's October 21st. I make a motion that we have downtown businesses Halloween
Second.
from what time?
No.
Whatever time we have.
Five
What time did we have it last year?
4:30?
I like to think it was 4 or 4:30.
4 to 6, I
Because we were
think.
down there
Yeah.
pretty early.
Still working.
4 to 6, right,
Yeah, that's right, the town hall hadn't closed yet.
right.
Right, yeah, that's right.
Is there a second?
Second,
All those in favor?
aye.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
No, one no. There's also a Janet Whistler from the PTO Elementary that wants to set up a table, which they did last year at this little place over here. I'll give her a call and let her do that, because they did that last year and it worked out fine. You want to go over the,
Just a couple things I'll just draw your attention to. You don't have to vote on them now, but I also gave you the Conservation Commission's budget request
Yes.
in those papers I gave you. They're up a little bit. And I also wanted to give each of you just a little update on where we are with the sanitation budget for the co-op. Just for your information, in case anybody asks. It's no change to Dennis's budget, but
Thank you.
Joyce, did you mean to leave this
on my desk?
Pardon me?
Did you mean to leave this email?
What email is that? Oh, no, this is something I have to bring up under our business. It's important.
Okay.
And then the other thing I'll give you is just, I've started making a draft list of possible warrant articles. It's just a list. We don't have to talk about it now. I don't know why I don't have enough copies.
Here, I'll make one.
No, here. Just a list. When we get ready, just so you know. You can have it.
Okay.
And the planning board adopted their budget, so what's in there is
Yeah.
good. So
Funded.
I think you've met your deadline in trying to get your entire budget, all your budget requests in.
Yep.
You did it.
We go before them in December 11th, I think it is.
Yeah. Is it the 11th or 13th?
13th might be. I don't have my book with me.
No, I don't either. I looked at.
So I thought I had mine too, but no, I think that we did good. So
Always
Oh, yeah.
there's a couple line items that still need to
That's
be
your budget.
changed, and
calendar.
Oh, okay.
when it comes time to
Front page.
Wrote it down.
do town administrator, I just have a couple of things.
December 11th.
I just have a couple of things when it comes time to town administrator.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Gaslight Village, they've been working on getting a CDBG grant. Well, we just got an announcement, I believe it was last week, that they have $12,000 worth of feasibility study money to see if a project is feasible. And that's
Okay.
perfect, because that's exactly what they need.
Yep.
So I put them in touch with Donna Lane, who has done CDBG grants before, and she can meet their deadline, but the deadline for having the application into the state is October 31st, which means we would have to have a public hearing on the 24th, because I told her we meet on Thursdays.
Yeah.
So I contacted the newspapers, and they said if I can get this ad into them tomorrow, it will meet the legal notice deadline for you to have a public hearing.
Okay.
So I need your permission. Would you be willing to be the conduit for the $12,000 feasibility study grant for Gaslight Village? And this would be...
We did this before for them.
No, not for them. We did this for Quinn.
White Rock.
White Rock. Yeah.
So the
I'm fine with that.
ad would be paid for by them.
Right.
Okay, so that's good?
Yep. No,
Do we
that's
need a
fine.
motion to do that?
Please.
Make a motion that we are,
Have a public hearing?
do we have a public hearing?
Yep.
Yep.
That we hold 3 public hearings for the Community Development Block Grant Fund for
Thursday, 24th.
Gaslight Village
On Thursday, the 24th.
on Thursday, the 24th.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, and the other thing is, one of our tax deeded properties has that, they've paid all the back taxes. I just have to finish the deed, and I want Catherine to proof it. If I can get it done before 4, I will. If not, I'll leave it in the tray.
Yep.
So we can sign it.
All righty.
And then, that's it.
That's it?
And then, because we're going to talk in non-public, right?
Yep. Should we go into non-public now so we can get it done?
Yeah.
All right. Then I'll make a motion to go into non-public per RSA 91A:1, legal.
Second?
Roll call vote?
Yes,
Yes?
Yes.
Legal as it pertains to...
we're back.
Okay, so we intermittently turned off the camera too quick before the vote was taken. So we're going into non-public per RSA 91A:3C. Roll call vote?
Yes.
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 I voted yes the first time.
Okay.
And we're red.
So are we square now with motion?
Motion to seal the minutes of the non-public as they pertain to adversely affecting the reputation of another until the matters are resolved.
No, forever,
Forever.
for the person.
Forever for person, right. The legal,
Legal issues till they're resolved.
yeah, but that would, yeah. Legal issues till they're resolved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now, did we square things? Do we still need to vote, or did we vote, or?
No, we squared things away, that what's going to happen with the house
Okay.
and everything, so
Okay.
that's all done. Next week, what time are we coming in? Are we doing budget next week? Finishing up the budget board?
Should be finishing up next week, I think.
I was over there this morning, got everything set up.
You won't be here?
I'm going to be in Michigan from the 16th to the 23rd, I'll be back the 24th.
It's,
On the 15th, we have our meeting with the commissioners, I gotta just double confirm that. That's Tuesday.
7 o'clock, the board is going to come. I have, for October 17th, I don't have a time pad, it just says approved preliminary outside agencies. So what time did you want to come in? It doesn't-
outside agencies,
We're still going to work on the budget.
right, but,
Outside agencies we won't be doing, but we still got the rest of the other one. 2 o'clock?
is it 2 o'clock?
Everybody okay with 2 o'clock next week
Sure.
for budget? All right. 2 o'clock.
Can I make a motion to adjourn?
Second?
All those in favor? Go ahead. You good?
It's non-debatable.
No.
No.
We'll rescind it. What do you need?
We still have an issue with the UST and the fuel tank surcharge. Did you all have the opportunity to study the figures that I gave you?
Yes, we did.
And then I would make God, I have to get the exact amount. Oh, well, I can't. There's a motion on the floor.
We rescinded the motion.
Okay, all right, that part I didn't hear.
Okay.
All right. Let me see here. On Tilton, 4,000. First I have to do this. 0.05 times 1567, which is the amount of gallons, 0.6 equals $78.38. Plus
Whoops, this is yours.
448955. 456,793. 56793. Okay, I would make a motion that we pay the sum of $4,567.93 to include the 5-cent surcharge. That does include that 5-cent surcharge on a per gallon basis. It's our part of the shortage at the underground storage tank from last July to this June. That would bring us even.
Second?
Any discussion? We all understood it. I read it.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, so that'll just become part of our regular thing. Tim will make a check, and how does that work?
Catherine will give the information to Tim. Tim will make a check, and it will be sent to the school.
Okay, and yeah, that goes to the school district.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much. I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor?
Oh, yeah.
Just wanted to adjourn.
Actually, that's right.
Yes.